It's that time again. Welcome to the stage. Oh yeah. Where energy and creativity collide. Here we go. Let's level up. Make this something to remember. All right.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final day of Valorant for the week here in the Naystar League playoffs. It's the semifinals for the Open Division. Woo! Are you excited, Vincent? We've got one best of three today, and it is heavy hitters that we're checking out tonight. Oh, my Lord.
Man, this is going to be so much fun, Los. I mean, sometimes I'm pumped. Sometimes I'm excited. But this time, I am overjoyed by the teams that we have tonight. This is going to be a banger of a series, and, well, we've had a banger of a season. Here's how it goes. The regular season, all of that has been leading into the conference play-ins, at which point the fight to get that first spot into the playoffs. If you don't make it, though, the last chance qualifier, that was last week. The playoffs have been all of this week, and the chance to head into those grand finals, that's what they're fighting for right now here in the semis. Los, this is everything on the line.
It's gotta be. I mean, it's always been that last chance as they're moving through the playoffs. No double elimination here. You lose one time and you're going home for good. So one more best of three separates our two upcoming teams, that being UH Premier and Fisher College, from going home or either going to those grand finals. There's a lot on the line. Not only this, will they be able to make their way over to this final event, you know, the best of the best when it comes to Collegiate Valorant in the Naystar League, but there's also some prize pool to look after. And we've got 2,500 for the first place, 1,250, and 625 for the third place squad. And, you know, it's some good money, some good scholarship money for these folks out here, but I've told you throughout the entirety of this competition, it's the skill, it's the scouting, and the looks beyond the Naystar League and beyond the collegiate scene that I think really matters.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what, these teams, they're right there with it. They're prepared to get going, and, well, they're definitely looking to win, but you could also be looking to win as well, because we have a special giveaway happening tonight thanks to our friends over at Garmin. If you use the promo command giveaway in chat and watch through tonight's broadcast for 1 full hour, you can get a chance to win your very own Garmin Instinct Esports Edition. The Garmin Instinct Esports Edition is the GPS gaming smartwatch built for victories with a dedicated esports activity profile. Track and analyze your body's performance while gaming. In case you missed it, that is ! giveaway in chat to get your chance to win. You just have to watch for 1 hour over the broadcast tonight. And listen, you better get in early because we only have one best of three tonight. We've had 2 series all week long. But this time, you only got the 1 series. So hurry up. ! giveaway. Make it happen.
Yeah, hurry up and make sure you get that chance. But, I mean, this is a much better chance that we are going to go the distance. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have a few opportunities for a single hour of watch time, because we've got Fisher College. It's UH Premier. These are 2 heavy hitters when it comes to that collegiate scene. I mean, not just to Valorant, it goes beyond into essentially every esports title in collegiate that there is. Coming over from Fisher, we've got Ming, Psyche, Chloric, Logan, and Dory. Coming from the Coog Esports, it's Jivy, Koi, Adam Solomon, Sully, and X-Relevant.
Yeah, there's a lot of heavy hitters with regard to both of these rosters, and I honestly don't necessarily think that the individuals for Fisher are as, I mean, they're worth talking about, but everyone for Fisher, I feel like, steps up in a huge way. Obviously, a whole lot to look at with regard to Psyche and the duelist role, but I want to get back to Fisher because let's talk about UH for just a moment. Jivy, the endgame leader and one of the heaviest hitters alongside Koi, has been one to look out for this Houston squad, and I'm excited to see what they have to offer tonight. It's going to be interesting to see how they shape up against the Fisher College team that I don't think they've actually gotten the chance to play.
No, I don't think it has been an opportunity, but hey, what better time than in the semifinals? To kick things off for this map pool, it's going to be Bind, followed by Haven, and if we need it, which I most definitely think we will, it's going to be Ascent.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty classic stuff. You tend to expect this coming through, and I do think that it's hard to say if this actually favors anyone in particular. I don't know what the setup was, like what maps were played last night with Fisher. They were able to best the number 8 seed in the country in FIU Gold yesterday in a 2-1, but they got 13-1 on their second map. I just don't know what map that was, so I assume we're not going to see that map tonight, but it is maybe a little concerning for Fisher considering that they're going up against the number 2 ranked squad in the nation in UH Premier.
Yeah, they're nothing to sneeze at. They have to be on their A game, and you know I want to talk about the that 13-1. Right after that, it was a 13-3 onto FIU Gold. So it's kind of, you know, we had that that moment when we spoke with Stony Brook yesterday that it was a bit of a fluke of a map. That kind of seems like one of those scenarios where if you could turn one stomp on yourself and then flip the script back onto your opponents, maybe a little bit of a mishap. But as you said, we don't know exactly what went down in that matchup, as unfortunately we didn't get a chance to see it. But hey, we have the opportunity today to see what is going on. UH Premier, we've been able to see it specifically in the NACE Star League back in last spring, so a bit of time has gone on, and we have a new look, specifically a new look at a player who's on the starting roster, that being X-Relevant, taking the place of Eric Appleson.
Yeah, and I think that is certainly something to pay attention to, but as mentioned, this is a strong squad regardless. I talked about Jivy, I talked about Koi. The other side of that, though, is this Fisher College team. They're a team that has a lot of success, not just within the collegiate space, but generally speaking. They spent time, the core of this team, 4 out of 5 players, have spent time together over the last 2 or 3 years. Was talking to their coach, Rascal, and you'll see him down at the bottom left, and he was talking about how this squad, in one form or another, this core of 3, has been together for so long. They've been able to build up that consistency that is very tough to build on a collegiate roster, especially just by the nature of, you know, the turnover that tends to happen over collegiate of the collegiate space. So I think that that's pretty impressive, and I think that if there's a thing that can give Fisher the edge, that could be it.
And you know, that is actually a huge benefit that we're going to find with Fisher. It's because most of the time you would have to build that chemistry through practice, through just good scouting as well. But having a little bit of a package deal going on, Vincent, cuts out so much work when it comes to developing your squad to have that cohesion and server. They've already got it.
Yeah, I mean, the development just happens over time naturally, and you don't have to put as much pointed pressure on that idea as you practice things. It just comes a little bit more naturally. So Fisher College going to start themselves out on the defensive side, and this is a hard one to call. I don't know if we said it directly, this is number 2 in the UH Premier roster overall CVAL ranking, going up against number 8 in Fisher College. Actually, no, number 6, excuse me. They got upgraded. That's a
big jump.
Yeah. I think they were number 8 last month. That's probably what I was thinking.
Seems that they're only trying to improve. That'll be evident today. So we're expecting some great moments coming from this squad. Initial engagement, just poking and prodding for some information, and Koi learns that a bullet to the head, that information hurts. But Jivy on the other side of the map is able to clean up 2 pushers.
Yeah, as mentioned, Jivy, a heavy hitter, the in-game leader as well. really has stepped up for this roster time and time again. Low health on both of these players, though, Koi and Jivy. And there's 2 players still committed here. It seems not to matter.
And that comes because you have that deep lurk that's coming from Ming. They originally noticed that no one was going for a rotation after those few kills that Jivy was able to successfully take. And since there wasn't any extra movement through market for a rotation, that was communicated to stick around. But in the end, it's not like the additional help mattered too much.
Certainly didn't matter in that endeavor, but pretty darn standard into that pistol round, considering Jivy's aggression, able to connect to a couple of kills, and they push that advantage to the maximum. So, Goog Esports setting themselves up for a solid start. Fisher, look at this, getting ready to get aggressive already. Second round, and they're already going for it. Push.
Oh, a little bit deadly, daring movement. But Koi can just walk on through. They've got the superior firepower and the superior numbers, so they shouldn't have any problem hunting down Fisher's remnants as they attempt to scatter for any safe haven on Barn.
Nothing safe right now for Fisher as Houston have pushed so deep into the back lines here. Chloric trying desperately to find something or another. But, Lewis, I think the interesting storyline is continued not only here at NACE, but in other leagues as well, where both of these teams in different divisions, undefeated, still not able to play each other. They finally meet here in the semifinals. This is a magical moment.
It feels like it's fated. This has to take place. This has been in the making for such a long time. 2 top teams in collegiate, that they need to have that final engagement, that encounter, that duel to the death in terms of their tournament life.
Yeah. And what's crazy is, like, these teams won't play each other in CVAL until they get to the overall finals either, because they're in different areas. So Fisher I think in the north, and Houston in the south. So it's really an interesting dynamic.
We've got the bonus. This time, much more of a default from UH. No aggressive plays from Fisher. They realize what they're getting into. This is their big moment to step up, cut down the success that Houston's been enjoying these last 2 rounds. And it starts with Logan. A pretty critical pick, as that Headhunter could be deadly, especially in Jivy's hands, but it'll be an offensive. They'll walk through main, and no one to initially take these gunfights against them.
And the wall. Something we didn't really talk about because we were really setting up this game. The Sage pick for Houston, not like the most abnormal thing, but definitely not a guarantee, is out for Adam Soliman.
Second kill for Logan, but Sully is looking to shoot back. Use on the Guardian as well has some viability, especially into this bonus round. It'll be able to serve them well. Right around the corner, relevant. They're looking for an opportunity, but it's a quick swing. Ori and Psyche cleaning things up, but now you've got Koi in the 1v1. They've got a paint shell. There's nothing they can do. Dory has to just maneuver, but they've been beat down from all that utility that it was a simple shot to the chest for Koi to secure the victory with a 4K.
Beat down, beat back, and beat up with all of that utility you mentioned. And Fisher, unfortunately, on the round that honestly they're meant to win, that was a bonus. They can't pick it up. And so nothing doing. A big victory for Houston as they push it over the line, and Koi with a 1v3 clutch as well. That cannot be understated. Not in the slightest. Los, these guys, the individuals on hand for this Houston roster consistently bail them out. And Koi does it right there.
And they got just such a frustrating lineup for Fisher. Being able to walk into a spray down like that and lose your biggest chance of winning that round. Now we have a new look. It's Fisher getting aggressive once again with sheriffs in hands. Trademark will be there to prevent them from making any uninterrupted, unsuspected pushes into market.
I like that the Houston have slowed things down a bit into this round. Don't want to oversell it. Don't want to overdo it either. Logan.
They're consistently getting those great shots. But that's all they'll be able to do. However, not much you could expect when you're running with a Sheriff and a point of pressure and showers. That's a Nightfall committed from UH, but they won't enact off that.
Which is a little scary considering this flank coming from Fisher. Relevant has no idea. There's the spike.
Down A.
And that was critical. That's patience from Fisher. They waited until there was a movement away from the trademark itself so they could drop the poison orb,
30 seconds
maneuver away, and find another kill. Stop the spike from being in control of UH. There's only 24 seconds left for them to even get to the site. It's a good kill from Adam Solomon, but now there's even more pressure mounting, but it might not even need to result in a plant. Because you got
run.
Psyche, the last player alive.
10
They run
seconds
away.
left.
It's a
There's
1v2.
There's time, though, for this plant. And it's even the safety for Jivvy, making sure to get around the corner at 4 health. That's somewhat of a necessity. But Fisher, hoping, praying that Houston were going to make a misplay there, not given that opportunity. And so Psyche, the one who's really done a lot of damage, those Seekers need so much space, asked to clutch 1v2 with 12 health and a dream.
At least they've got that Vandal in hand. So it seems a lot brighter than previously seen with a Sheriff as their one piece of utility. That's bangable. They're able to be shot through the boxes, but in the end, the pinch would be too great. Despite how much health is already taken away from the surviving members of UH, it's another victory for Coog Esports, and they're loving it for nothing.
That they are, but that was a lot more damage than I think that Houston really wanted it to be giving away. Fisher College basically doing the maximum. They are, though, still losing the round. So at the end of the day, Houston going to be very much living with what they got. As Fisher on the rebuy, they've got the weapons back out. 3-man setup towards the A site. And it's a pretty one-dimensional approach for now for Houston. They are just attacking a B long, rather. 4 players in this direction. And the opening pick, too. Jivvy casually swings and just easily finds that shot.
Unlimited value coming out of Jivvy. They are always good finding a peek, starting things off. Especially with headshot, no less. Now Ming inside the tube. Not expected, and they're good for a double kill. They want to keep themselves alive. They've got support. They're not alone. Another swing to ensue, however, Koi. They knock him down. This time they bring out the showstopper, but they're their own worst enemy. And that's left X relevant in the 1v3. And as soon as UH was able to take this site, they lose it.
Yeah, a little bit disjointed there. Being able to find a key double kill on the site, gets not only on the board, but finds the 2 requirements in order for Fisher to take their first round. Doesn't help the Koi's, like you put it, their own worst enemy. Shoots themselves in the toes with the showstopper.
A gift.
Tries to hit the flick. It's just not quick enough. So, Houston, not in the worst of spots, though, just yet. Jivvy's going to have a tour de force. There's the orbital strike as well.
Big flash. What reads it, though? I mean, there's not much threat behind it. It's more of an information grab. We have a B-long Viper's Pit. We've seen this before, and it has validity. Ming will have to play their life at this point, though. There's a lot of threats, but the big question is, do they realize that Adam Solomon is lurking within? And yeah, easy to figure out. Take him down.
Nice awareness from Ming. Just finding that it's not only a key frag, but an equalizer as well. There's no chance for the res now.
Ready.
With Adam going down, 4-on-4, and the adjustment back towards A. Jimmy spawning Caloric. That looked like it might have been on target, but Caloric stays alive.
Dory able to secure 1 from triple. That's a sound cue. Realization. Danger from you, but
no.
Koi actually just walks on through. Dory for a trade, but still losing out on 2. Here comes the orbital strike, denying the plant. But it only denies the inevitable, as now the smoke is dissipated. But actually, it presents an even greater threat. Barrel spotted, but the shot doesn't connect. Finally, Jivvy ends it with that headhunter, but the spike still isn't planted. Now you've got Ming. coming in from showers, completely undetected. A big win for Fisher there. They needed 2 in a row.
They needed it, and they got it. So brutal that in that 2v1 on the site, that nobody can actually get Dory out of position. I thought that should have been wallbankable, but it just wasn't. It seemed on target, but they could not get away with it. And Jivvy definitely going to be wanting that back, feeling a little gypped into that round, I would think. But the economy for Premier is so strong, Los, that they've got a 3rd buy in a row.
Koi taking an aggressive poke, and they'll attempt to bait out 1, but they find 2 instead. That map does not work well for them. However, resurrection, and it comes off the back of a retreat back to site, so things are all good. Back to that 5v5. However, let's find out as Ming reaggresses back into Hookah. However, with 3 players inside, it's X-Relevant striking first.
Quick reaction to put that stim beacon down as well. Trying to evacuate everyone from the area. And there's the push. And Koi with the paint shells.
Critical. Lord, they want more. And they find it. But they're still stuck inside of the tube. That's his safety nade, but you've got a showstopper. They're on such low health, but it doesn't matter. They find 1 before they die, but the spike is still down. Dory in an unknown position, unbeknownst to his opponents, but you also have to worry about Sully, who's in CT. They're in the back hall. But nobody knows where anyone is, except for Sully, who's got that information. A long lurk. Find success.
Sully putting Dory in the same position that Ming was putting the opposition in that previous round. Tough, but no cigar. It's Fisher College. They won 2 in a row, but you got to remember, Los, those rounds were so very close that it doesn't give Fisher any chance to come back into this. They're stuck, and they're stuck on pistols.
And they had that big investment of the showstopper as well, so you don't have any ultimate to truly bail you out, at least in terms of replacement for a rifle. You've got the Nightfall, but it's good for a retake or just a preventative read, which may not even be a useful tactic at this point.
Satchel out.
The Nightfall could be thrown in here if the timing is right. But the problem is, at the moment, it looks like it's going to be a B hit if UH Premier continue to posture like this. And, well, the fade's on the other side. So, nothing more, though, for UH Premier to gain over at long. They have control.
Zoe hit with the paint shell, and Ming, they finish it off themselves. Psyche as well. Good work in defending this site, and they're wasting time killing it for UH. They don't have a real entry, but as this toxic screen goes down, they have the option. Nobody is peeking. Wall just for an angle. I'm not sure how it'll work out, but it might have some validity from this point on. Oh my god.
Wow.
Nope, that's it. That's the round.
That is insanity from Ming. And I don't know about that wall. I'm really not so sure. Like, the idea was to put Ming on one side and let the rest of the team push on the other. What it did in reality was just funnel all of UH Premier into that one area and set up that collat. It's ridiculous, but that's the way it goes. Fisher College, they're just laughing all the way to the bank as they connect a big victory, force Houston on their first save round of this game.
Not even quite a save, as won't be that half buy. You've got the Guardian again. And that's been able to provide some serious value and some good moments for Sully, but I'm curious as well with this wide breadth of spread out players in terms of a default. I mean, you've got Koi here in Showers, who's pretty far up.
I like Koi's spot, to be fair, but he is on a bit of an island. Does have a little bit of support, but this is a very default round from UH. They are not committing to anything. Okay. I thought they weren't committing to anything.
Koi picks up that Guardian, and they'll just peek those same angles. But Fisher isn't going to bite. He'll just send off a smoke, say, hey, you really want to come through? gotta go through me. Me being the smoke and Jivvy. They do it again. How many times has this chamber player come up big with multi-kills specifically on the headhunter? Another moment for them. Walk on through, but the body block. Chloric reads it, unless he saw the barrel through the smoke as well. However, the fight continues, and an orbital strike to create some space, and it forces Dory out of position, but that pressure gives them a new opportunity, leaving Koi stuck in the sky smoke away from the spike. They have to jump out in 14 seconds, but it's a good start with a headshot onto Logan, but Dory keeps it clean, and they win the round for Fisher.
You know, I think what I'm learning right now, Los, is that there's just nothing free in this game. Houston, they don't get anything for free. Fisher, don't give them anything for free. Same is true for the oppositions. And UH Premier pushing to the limit on a round that really they had no business in being in. They just had that Guardian and I think a Stinger. That was it. So, Jivvy bringing them back, stepping up, and finding double digits in the frag department as well. 10 and 5. This guy really doing so well.
Here's the thing. It doesn't matter if it's a buy or a save round. Jivvy's always got a viable weapon in hand if they've got that headhunter loaded with bullets. That's
the scary thing about going up against a player like Jivvy, is that you're never actually safe. There's no time where you can like fall back, give yourself a rest.
Okay, here comes. Oh, that is so unfortunate. Being caught out by the haunt. There goes your Viper's Pit. There goes your main gambit in terms of this site defense. And it'll be a freebie plant. UH.
Oh no!
Looking strong. Wait a minute.
That cabbage was going crazy.
I was so confused by what you said oh no to. Clark now looking for hope in hell. But they're getting too excited. They're loving to use those blast packs, but that one wasn't a good moment.
Well, I mean, ironically, it actually could have saved his life. Ultimately, it only does a little bit of damage because Sully shoots the blast pack in midair, and it does damage to the Chloric in the end. But funny, sure. But what's interesting, at the beginning of that round, Los, you were focused on the Viper's Pit, which I think is fair. You know, that was the major value that was lost from Fisher College's defense. But it was actually a double shutdown, one for either side. The showstopper gets popped down as well for UH, and it gets instantly taken out by Logan. Same is true, though, for the Viper's Pit. And it's a quick trade of utility, of ultimate utility, that ultimately favors the University of Houston.
Yeah, I would have to say in terms of the value when it comes to a showstopper versus a pit. The pit on the defense, infinitely more valuable. But speaking of value, we gotta talk about the value that Extra Life is bringing to help change kids' health and to change the future. So thank you for supporting Hey Star League as well. Make sure you join in the super page down below.
Definitely check them out. Awesome organization. Does a lot of great work. Speaking of great work, Houston, they've done some good work already here and now. They've limited Fisher to a certain extent, though limiting Fisher is sort of, you know, you do what you can. There's no complete limitations for Fisher, I don't think. Not usually.
Oh, Koi. They're looking for anything they can, but the spam through the smoke is just too much for them to bear. They'll have to take things slow again, but not a major loss of health. But this could be, though. Paint shells create some space, as well as the C's just dissuading, dropping everything they've got.
Face your fear!
And now we've got something else. It's a Nightfall.
Oh,
it's going both directions. So everyone is going to say, I can't hear anything.
Spike down.
Literally deaf, mostly blind as well. It's essentially a stalemate. Nobody moving. Houston coming away sort of worse for wear considering.
Last player standing.
Oh, that was such a wildly ambitious swing from Dory. But in the end, it doesn't matter too much because Jivvy's been left in the 1v4 clutch attempt. And you've got a double peek on both angles. I would say best bet, maybe try and grab the spike and hoof it over to B. But
Couldn't even
in the
do
end,
that.
yeah, it would just be delay the
Last
inevitable.
round in the half.
We head into the final round on the cusp of a 6-6, and despite the dominance that UH Premier showed at the initial stages, they were up 5-2. This has been pretty much equalized, and Fisher College looking to put the final damage in to do that here and end it on 6 aside. With that being said, Koi on a Stinger, not the best of weapons, and actually, what's really interesting is that neither team is anywhere close to an ultimate. I think I saw that they're 2 orbs away from a showstopper on the Fisher College side, but I mean that's going to be difficult to have impact with anyway.
Back to old reliable, the default, which is really wait for Jivvy to get a kill.
Yes.
Come on.
Our plan has been realized.
It's hilarious that he's the IGL too. He's like, all right, guys, just shut up. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm going to handle this.
Oh, but that should have been a frag from X-Relevant. Ming swings out and caught a little bit of sleep at the wheel.
Oh my God. Speaking of being asleep at the wheel, Koi going on autopilot, not doing the due diligence to clear all those corners. And it's one that was very obvious to him. It wasn't even...
I mean...
that Clark was hiding.
I mean, let's be real though, Los. He just got a kill right outside of you all. How is he supposed to expect there's another guy just at an off
30
angle?
seconds left.
Listen, Captain Price said it himself. You always got to check those corners, Vincent.
You're not wrong, but I'm giving a Vincent excuse verification.
Is that the $8?
No, I see we don't charge for those. It's just, but here's the thing: you don't get any input. It's just whatever my opinion is at the time.
Okay.
So it's sort of worse in many ways.
Honestly, I think the name just goes hard. Anyways, let's see if Jivvy can go harder. They're good for 1. And that's actually such a sneaky romp through. I'm surprised by the elevation that is afforded because Jivvy can play around the tube and secure another 4K clutch.
Painting the back wall with his enemy's blood. That's what Jivvy's been up to. What Jivvy's been doing. 18-6. But it's only good enough for 7-5 on the half low. So that's a bit concerning, I think, to be fair. Fisher College showing themselves incredibly strong, but still end up losing out on the half. But you know what isn't a loss? Duncan. Nate Starleak, we run on Duncan over here. Make sure you check out the panel down below and see where you can find a Duncan near you.
I mean, Jivvy's got to be running on Duncan. Look at that.
Whew. He's running 1,000,000 miles an hour.
You know what? It's crazy. It feels like he's going fast, but he's going so slow. It's such a slow ascent towards their opponent. And they seemingly find a, I wouldn't say effortless, but it's just a buttery smooth kill or 2-piece with the Headhunter. Now we've got some real opposition. Double lineup and extra smoke for Fisher College with the Viper. It's going to give them, well, essentially no safety as they attempt to walk through. It's really the sky smokes that give them entry and cause to move on to site.
I really want to know what Sully's plan there was. Just came flying like a gazelle through that smoke into like 4 enemies. It was not the play.
So we've got one confirmed kill for Jivvy, as you can tell by bullets in the Headhunter up. They've swapped. See, they swapped, Vincent. That was the issue.
Yeah, never want to put that thing away if you're Jivvy, to be fair. Though, in fairness, did pick up a crazy 4K there on the last round of the half. Fisher College with the victory in the pistol, going to give themselves a pretty darn good shot at pushing this to another tied up scoreline. UH Premier couldn't quite come away with it, and I think a lot of that coming down to some very poor timing on their swings. Like UH, they just pushed one by one through smokes or through anything.
Of course, by now, Oh my
remaining.
God. Well, there goes the round. Nice little 3-piece by Ming. Just give him
That's
some
what
extra creds.
that's what we call a Ming Long special.
We got a whole bunch of new phrases today, huh?
You know what? I've learned something, Los. You add like a catchy name to anything, and everybody's like, "Wow, that's so neat. That's so cool and wacky."
I
So-
want to be Vincent Excuse Verified.
Exactly. You add like not real value by adding a name. It's fantastic. You should try it sometime.
Okay, well, I mean,
You've already done it.
I've
You've
done it. I've done it
joined
quite
the
a few
Vinlos
times.
Collegiate Cavalcade.
yeah, that's true. Listen, I've got one cooking. I've used it before, but I
Okay.
don't think anyone would remember it. But
I might.
just
I won't.
wait.
I won't give it
You
away.
will, but the people won't.
Oh,
Koi.
it's like he's not remembering anything. He's been hit with a concussion, bullet to the head.
They set the precedent on that one. They knew exactly what they were going to swing into. It's Koi. He was sending down shots.
It's
That's
true.
that's exactly
Bring them down.
what you were going to see. Regardless, we'll see if Logan causes Sully to see anything, and the answer is going to be no.
You.
Big Prowler gives Clork the opportunity to move on in.
Down A.
However, Koi continues the pain, earns himself a 3K. It's finally shut down. Upgrade abound. Looking for whatever rifle
Last
to
player
give
standing.
safety. And now, the person who's made all the plays here for Fisher is now the only person left to make a play for Fisher.
Los, they can see Koi through walls right there, and he still gets 2 more kills. Can you explain that to me? How does that work? How does Koi like fandangle his way into those situations, or I should say, out of those situations? I don't get
Well,
it.
you know, because I talked to him earlier and
30
I gave him
seconds
a little
left.
tip. It's a move that I like to call the loosey-dosey.
Okay.
Now you see, I didn't tell Clark about that one. I didn't tell him about that.
You're showing the
Would've been-
favoritism. I understand.
Yeah, well, you saw who my prediction was.
Yeah, we did. We did. Yeah, that's actually not a good idea. Helping the opponent to your prediction.
We've got channel points on the line here.
No, okay. Well, you should have just said so. That's far more reasonable now. Well, reason aside, it is no longer tied. Houston moving up into the lead once more, and 19-8 for Jivy, and Koi stepping up to the plate, making some moves and jumping the gate.
Lorik looking for that initial information, but we'll just send out the blast pack. I don't know where that went. I think that
Yeah,
went
it's a little
outside
deep.
of Hookah.
I did, I think. I was like, oh, this could like be massive, and then nobody moved.
Oh,
You know
Come
what's a
on now,
great
Jivy.
counter to a Season 8? Just having a rendezvous out.
that's the worst person for this combination to work on. Anybody else, that would have been fine. There's zero escape utility, save for the
Insta-dead.
rendezvous. But rough stuff. It's though, it's just Jivy. Just Jivy things.
Honestly, I think I need to look into making the rendezvous get like canceled by stuff like that. It's so powerful. But balanced thoughts aside, Sully, there we go. Gonna double down a secondary opener.
Are they expecting this? No, they have got no clue.
30
Jimmy's back
seconds
again.
left.
They don't have a
Last
rendezvous,
player
but they don't
standing.
need it because they can just shoot their way out of this situation. Lork putting on some pressure. But they've got 30 HP. They have no real chance of walking through this one. It's got to be the save.
You asked a question, Los, and we found out the answer, but I want to go back to that. Are they expecting Jivy
10
in the
seconds
close right
left.
or close left corner there? The answer is hell no. And how? Like, why would you? Jivy got the opening pick back in Hookah like 20 seconds ago, and then suddenly he's like not only past elbow but playing around his trademark. That's just incredible. Incredible dynamic play from Jivy. So hard to read, and honestly, you can't even blame Fisher for not realizing that he's in that spot.
Yeah, because Psyche shot the trademark. It was just beyond the foot of Jimmy. Realized, okay, that's gone. Looks like this corner's good to go. 'Cause
Yeah.
what maniac
Who-
would be sitting there?
Who would put a trademark there if they already have their body there? What? Why would they do that?
Ugh, that's that's unfortunate, but we also have an unfortunate tech pause, but I can tell you what isn't unfortunate. It's opportunities with the Army ROTC. Become a leader for life with the Army ROTC, so thank you so much for sponsoring the Naystar League, and again, giving some leaders like Jivy the opportunity to step up.
I was just about to go there, man. You know, it's absolute speculation, but I think Jivy doing some pretty good leadership here, leading by example at the very least. Showing the rest of the team how it's done. 22-8. I keep saying it like it's going to be any more impressive the more I talk about it, but I feel like if I don't talk about it, I'm doing Jivy a disservice.
Yeah, but, you know, that also, again, I want to point out that this is the IGL, the captain. Normally, you don't see that take place. Normally, you don't see them topping the leaderboards, but when you do, and by such a crazy margin in the stat line, almost a 3 KD, it's just a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, that's a good point. It really is impressive. Of course, we got to keep in mind, this is UH Premier's map pick, Los. So, you know, I feel like they've pretty much had a handle on most of this map thus far. I think that's a fair statement. Would you agree?
I guess I'd have to say so. But, you know, the scoreline is it's so close.
It is. Yeah, that's not to take anything away from Fisher. They're doing a good job, but it felt like Houston have just been the ones taking that lead, and Fisher been working to catch up.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the timeline, 4 to kick things off, and then little by little, that's how Fisher is able to claw back. There's never a strong string of those rounds over for Fisher, so that's what they want. That's what they're looking for. And it seems the tech pause is all ready to go as we'll head into our next round. But it's a little bit of an eco buy for Fisher, these two sheriffs. However, we got Clark with the Vandal, and they want a piece of Houston.
Yeah, I like this. I like this fast play, but the C's comes in at a great time. The nade misses its mark, unfortunately. But it does stall things out for Fisher temporarily. And was that a haunt that he got hit by? It must have been. That's the only thing that makes sense. So Fisher's ultra aggressive maneuver instantly counterfeited just by a little bit of utility from Houston. Oh no. Oh no. Well, they got walled.
Yeah, they were looking to slow down the play. And that's a heads-up play by Adam Solomon. Says, oh, you want to play it slow? Let me ice you out as well. Put up the wall.
Yeah, bringing new meaning to getting iced. That's for sure. Another haunt as well. This might be timed perfectly. All 5 players here in this position.
Though Logan, they've done it before. Sully's been blinded in this very location. They'll be good to take down 1. That isn't a favorable trade because they give a rifle over to Logan.
Spike down A.
Floric. Pretty scary, but they're going to take... Dude, there's no way they expect JV here. There's just no way.
Able to secure at least that snake bite, so it'll give Jivy the
Last player
hesitancy
standing.
to walk through. In the end, the spike will go down, but that's all they could do. 1 kill, 1 plant, 1 more round for Houston.
The fact that Jivy's still on the site there is really important. I mean, and I understand that's the right play. Like, Houston should not have everyone rotated off of B at any point. They never saw the spike. They never even saw any players, actually. They only heard players. But once the push continues over at A short, you would tend to think that many players would sort of lean towards rotating off, or, you know, be a little less committed, maybe an elbow at the very, very most, but still sitting on the site. Jivy, the patience is just preternatural.
Okay. Drop of that Roomba.
But
no one will actually walk through Seekers to head out from long and go all the way around. It's just a big commitment all around from Fisher in terms of the information ultimates. Adam Solomon jumps outside of hookah, gunned down instantaneously. And Jivy's in the back halls. And this is looking like a
Spike
heavily
planted.
invested but well-executed side take from Fisher.
Well executed. I'm a big fan of that. Yes, indeed. And I don't know that UH can get back in here, especially not with Jivy going down like that. Honestly, it's a bit premature, and they have money, but I think UH should save. Like, I think they should get out.
They would be doing themselves a disservice to walk in here because the setup from Fisher College
Last player
pretty much
standing.
unbreakable, save for a singular.
One enemy remaining.
What? Relevant! X-relevant! They had a major moment, but Logan spotted them in the last moment before that sky smoke fell, giving them cover. That was outrageous from X-relevant.
Los, I mean, we were wrong. Our bad.
No, we were right, Vincent. We were right in what we said, but X-relevant just said, yeah,
Yeah, but
I don't
actually,
care. I don't care.
No, yeah, that's entirely fair. But massive play from X-relevant, and you know, ultimately, what it does is it really hurts the economy of Fisher. It just confirms that one loss will set them back miles. Will push them back onto an eco. But UH Premier, they're going to have to win a round to make that happen. They're going to have to win this one here. Tour de Force is out. Okay, Sully. Just get an opening pick, why don't you?
Good trade by Dory. There's some fear. Dory saw that wall, a barrier up. Used to block out Hookah. Had that one thought in the back of their head. Oh my god, is this a grim wall? Am I about to get sniped out of the sky? I don't want to push.
It is terrifying when you see the walls that you're like, oh, that's a TikTok Sage right there. They have like 30 walls, and all of them are ending in my death.
Not like the TikTok raises that we've talked about
No.
previously. A lot
Those
more
are
threat.
different.
A lot more threat in that, but not much threat after a placement of these smokes. But that's all the smokes they've
Spike
got.
planted.
However, they have some Viper utility to utilize in the post plant.
Well, it's not just that, it's the orbital strike too from Fisher. They have that on the car. It's a showstopper as well. This is definitely not simple for Houston to get back in here.
No, it's been a long play, but doubling back to come over here. Get the advantageous position onto A. It's a good
need
opener.
tap.
Oh, they have to tap because we've got
Are
Dory.
they going to get half? They
Yeah.
did.
X-relevant. They'll make the commitment, and it's left Dory all alone. They were hoping to have that Molly follow-up, but making the commitment to clear down A short and have a firing squad at that, that was perfect. It was exactly what they needed, and it will secure an 11th round for Houston.
What a turnaround as well. Houston, despite the odds being stacked against them, they used Jivy's Tour de Force to really cut a swath through the site. And on top of that, normally the issue there is that you have to deal with both showers and short at the same time. And that, alongside the orbital strike, is just not very plausible. I love the decision to use the orbital strike from the defense in order to clear out basically the entirety of showers, and from there, they could just take the duel at short, guaranteeing that there was no second prong to that attack or defense of the site.
Adam Solomon, good for their one. However, still hands over a rifle to Bing, except the trade. Entry, not as big of a bloodlet as we've seen previously. Fisher College, they can walk on through. Oh, no, just a ridiculous wall bang through that window. A little display case.
Bruh, you're right. I had no idea where that came from. This was the range on that is ridiculous. There's a nightfall to come in. That's the key for Houston, and here it comes.
The thing is, when you're coming out from elbow, you don't really see where those trails lead. So that's a tough re-aggression. Koi gunned down. They didn't have any information. Now to deal with this poison orb, you still don't have information. The trails lead into nothing.
Finally, with the orb down, they can move in. But
And it's going to be cut down within a second. Big round for Ming. Able to take that Vandal and find two more to shut things down.
UH Premier, they have been looking good, but they cannot be allowing for Fisher College to find those types of rounds. A lot of individual engagements, and it was clear that UH thought they had the advantage. I mean, they did in the weaponry department, but they played it as such and took some individual fights in order to try and push that advantage. Sometimes that works. Other times, Fisher has sheriffs, and they shoot you back.
Okay, I was questioning, like, you're not going to get rid of the Roomba? But no, that's smart, because when you focus on that, that's when you can be found out and taken advantage of. Clark, oh my god! Oh my lord! The timing there! Boy, they're good for a trade, but Psyche
Clark had the
closing
spike.
things out. Clark had the spike, and they made such a daring engagement. Being
Spike planted.
a hero of the previous round. Are they going to chill inside of showers? They have no reason to believe that there's an op here yet. And there won't be. Unfortunately, comes at the worst timing, but Adam Solomon, it's their time to shine. They need to make this round theirs, but they don't. It's Logan with a beautiful finish. And they keep this within 1 round differential.
Yeah, and are UH broke? I think they are. Yeah, they are broke as hell. They don't have money for days. This is perfect. Fisher have found their footing at the perfect time in this half. They've stepped up. It's been brutal. It's not been easy. But they pick up their 5th round for the second half, and it's at the perfect moment. It should be 11-11. Of course, all of those should be's, and probably will, could change. UH Premier, their pistol game, their eco game, it is on point.
Yeah, it's just a half buy, or at least half armor for Jivy. Still got a gun in hand. That being their patented headhunter abilities. But it's I wouldn't say hesitant, but a much slower look than what Fisher College has been bringing in those previous rounds.
I don't know if you noticed this before, but Clark has a riot gun, buddy.
That's pretty neat, you know. I heard they're only given to very sick individuals. But we'll talk about that later. Right now, we're going to talk about this is going to be a massacre of epic proportions. There is a little opportunity being for Adam Solomon.
1 enemy remaining.
Oh, there it goes.
What opportunities? There ain't none here. I don't see any. Sorry, Los. What?
Flawless.
Huh? Flawless round there for Fisher. They did well. Made sure that nothing of the shenanigans that Houston were putting on display could come to fruition. And I was going to ask, we haven't really seen the Houston timeout. Now's the time. 11-11.
From what we've seen in these previous rounds, I mean, you know, not much that could have been done in that anti-eco that they were just faced with. Or at least the save round that absolutely nothing could have been done there. But Fisher College, I'm liking what they're bringing. We've been waiting for the string of multiple rounds to take place, and they finally found it in stride. About to make their first, I think, the first time that they will take the lead in this map.
Is that true? That is incredible.
A bold claim by me, but let's see if the timeline
I think
actually
you're right.
supports that.
No, I think you are right. Yeah, you are absolutely correct. Wait. No, it was 7-7. You are absolutely right.
You know, when you said, is that true? I'm like, oh no, maybe it wasn't.
No, your math was on point, my friend. It is indeed the chance for Fisher to take the lead. But they've had a couple of those chances, Los. Remember, 7-7? It was 5-5 at one point. Definitely fallen by the wayside there. The most important round is now, though.
11-11. Make a wish.
Oh, no.
Clark doesn't need to,
Spike down A.
but maybe UH will. This is a big commitment of that Nightfall and fear placed in the paint shells, but Psyche,
Last player standing.
they've got no fear. They walk through, they pick up a double, And Adam Solomon just running away, looking for safety, will find none,
Planted.
leaving Jivy alone in the 1v3. This is a huge ask for them.
I mean, if there's a guy you want, it's this guy right here, but doesn't even have the headhunter bullets to work with.
Ready.
Just this operator.
Even if he does secure the skill, it's going to be an instant swing around. Or maybe not. No. But it is Psyche, in the end, who rotates out from showers. Such low health. And they'll take the lead. And what an important one it is. Map point here on Bind.
And on Fisher's position as well, they do such a good job making that quick decision in order to commit the Nightfall. Really big fan of what Logan was doing there. Then he even falls back, uses the Prowlers to support the rest of the team in their endeavor moving forward. But even worse for where is Houston. This is their map pick.
Bring them down.
Use that tour de force. Solo hold on B by Jivy. But if there's an attack that leaves UH a little bit injured, battered, the rotation and clutch attempt, I don't know if it's going to have any real impact. Because last time, the 1v3, Adam Solomon attempted to bring some pressure from heaven as the Sage, or at least run away from showers and escape and play their life, but that just wasn't the possibility.
Certainly was not. Possibilities abounding right now, though, for Fisher as they group back up in the same spot that they found the success in the last round.
Huge paint shells and the crossfire. Each angle supported on each gunfight. The individual duels won. Ming walking through into U-Haul. No one's there directly, and it doesn't even matter because Gloric, they got it down. And everything falls apart. Everything that UH has worked to build on Bind, it crumbles. Jimmy, just a judge, and no hope in hell of taking this site back.
Yeah, I mean, might be able to recover a rifle here. Has the tour de force as well. He's gonna collect a kill.
That'll be about it. Yep, Psyche
Attackers win.
closing things up. And they've had some beautiful multi-kills throughout this first map, and I felt like they were a bit of a slept-on player, as we didn't talk about them too much, but they were coming through in massive ways, especially in attempting to make those individual clears of corners. When it comes to taking showers, Psyche was usually the one to find those multi-kills. When it comes to getting just the necessary multi-kills, that's when Psyche came prepared.
Yeah, I felt like there was definitely a mindset or a culmination of many players for Fisher stepping up. Whereas, not to say that anybody else on UH Premier played poorly, but it was more along the lines of Jivy and Koi were those heavy hitters, and everybody else was supporting that endeavor. There's nothing wrong with that, but what we did see is at the end of the day, whenever it was required for an individual to step up on the part of Fisher College, they did. Whether it was Ming, many times able to come in clutch with the very fast flanks, or whether we were talking caloric and those aggressive positions, we were seeing that pretty often. Or as you mentioned, Psyche having a lot of moments with the just with the Seekers, especially, I felt like were very well timed. It definitely helped out to have all of your players being able to perform at that high level.
Yeah, all the pieces fitting together to fit that puzzle and fit Fisher College into taking this first map. We'll find out if they can continue that pressure as we head into map 2 right after this quick break. Hey folks, and welcome back to the NACE Star League semi-finals for Valorant. We've got UH, we've got Fisher College, and Fisher College having a fantastic comeback to steal away Bind from University of Houston. The Cougs, they're crying after that one, but they're not done yet. The tears are wiped because they still have a game to play. It's Haven.
Listen, they're going to have to play at the highest level that they have to offer because Fisher College, they picked Haven, and there's a reason that they picked Haven. They're good on Haven. Now, I've seen UH Premier play Haven as well. I don't think they're a bad Haven team. but it's been a little while since I've seen them play it, and for that reason, I will say there's question marks, and particularly the fact that, I mean, and you and I were talking about it. I'm going to steal your thunder a little bit. You were talking about something you noticed over the last few rounds, and that was the fact that UH Premier struggled to make adjustments to their holds. They were playing very in the sight. They were committed to those fights, and whilst that worked early on, it was not working at the very last 3 or 4 rounds. And you were mentioning that they didn't change, and I gotta agree, Los. They gotta recognize that if that happens on Haven.
Yeah, once it got to a post-plant scenario, there was no one left to survive to give some support to Jibby, because they were always that anchor on B site. The retake would end up in a 1v4, a 1v3. I think in the end it was a 1v5, and it was just going to be an impossibility. So if you lost sight, you essentially lost the round, and that can't be the case going forward here in Haven, and I don't think it will be. But before we talk about giving up sites and giving them away, we're going to talk about a giveaway of a watch thanks to our friends over at Garmin. Use promo code COMMANDGIVEAWAY in chat. That's exclamation point giveaway if you don't know what that is. And watch through tonight's broadcast for 1 full hour for a chance to win your very own Garmin Instinct Esports Edition. The Garmin Instinct Esports Edition is the GPS gaming smartwatch built for victories. With a dedicated esports activity profile, track and analyze your body's performance while gaming. In case you missed it, command giveaway in the chat for a chance to win. You gotta watch 1 full hour of the broadcast. It's gonna be easy peasy, folks. Just stick around. It's a great series.
It absolutely is. It's been a pleasure to get familiar with it, as they were kind enough to send one over to us, and it's been pretty awesome getting all the data, all the tracking, and everything that comes with it. What is coming up next, though, is going to be interesting. Haven, a map where we've seen UH Premier play very well. I think back to the spring finals that you and I casted for NACE, and UH Premier showed themselves to be very effective at this map. But that was a long time ago. I was certainly not a short amount of time between then and now, and I just wonder if things are different, especially considering this Fisher College roster. They might not have existed at the time, but they absolutely are on the way to the top.
Isn't that such an amazing concept or an idea that Fisher College, new to the scene, new in the esports realm when it comes to collegiate, and they are monsters. This is a team to be feared in every single title that they compete in. They're always going to be a threat that seemingly appeared out of thin air.
Well, I mean, if you want some background on that, I think that the majority of, I think it was Bay State, ended up going, who was very strong in Overwatch, was a very strong team in Valorant as well. Most of that program ended up moving over to Fisher, actually, which is part of the reason that they were able to jump up so efficiently over just 1 semester. But I think you're right. It really goes to show that the program over there is definitely a strong one. And full disclosure, I have a lot of friends over at that program as well. So, I may be a bit biased.
Chat, get him.
We got him. He's admitted it.
Lock him up, boys.
Take him away, fellas.
Well, now that you've got that off your chest, it could be a good opportunity for everyone to get something off their chest by having a little bit of help. It's BetterHelp. A great way to take a load off yourself mentally and get someone to talk to. Say what's going on. Alleviate some stress that you're going through. Use the code 0B1D8, a favor for Vincent, or scan that QR code on the screen below.
I might just have to check it out just to use my favorite code. I think that might be a necessity for me. UH, a necessity for them to pick up this round. See that? Quick, fast. We're back into the action.
I like the little struggle that Jivy's Roomba used to get in there. And also, we had no time to talk about this new setup. Jivy now on the raise. Much more aggressive play to be seen. So we have the paranoia.
Oh, they're not checking.
Oh my god. That was such a crazy maneuver. I'm pretty sure Dory sent it from the opposite side and then ran across while they were blind. Maybe?
No, he was there the whole time. Dory was already in that position, was blinded, though, by the flashpoint. Either way, Fisher trying to get back in here. Going to be difficult against the crossfire that Jivy and Sully have set up. Wait. Okay, no, they're just regrouping together. I was like, what is Logan doing? Where is he going?
Good kill from Ford. Logan, they don't have any utility. They're using everything off just dry peaks. But in the end, the numbers will overwhelm and UH take the first round.
This is very premature, Los. But I'm getting flashbacks to UH on this map. And I'm like instantly thinking, I think this might be 3.
Yeah?
Just based on those flashbacks.
You're digging deep, man. That is like 6 months ago?
I know. It really is a while. But they left a significant aspect on my brain there, you know? Also, I mean, I saw them in the finals of CEA as well.
Yeah. Well, we didn't see what Fish could do. I mean, not yet. Dory. Just in a cheeky little corner. They do it again. Not rude. They walk away. They don't get the Spectre, but they get a pick, and that's good enough.
Ooh, Houston. Down for the count right now on a round. They should be pretty handedly winning, at least on paper. They're going to group themselves up, and this is the better decision. Don't want to take those individual duels, particularly not when they've been going the way that those initial 2 went. They're going to head towards A. Spike in hand.
Walk through that dark cover. I mean, they're going to get information as soon as this haunt comes through, or the fault line will be what they need. Here comes a Prowler. Boy, they don't want to walk out. They send out a flashpoint. They'll send out another. But the fault line is everything. A huge piece of utility out from short. Logan, a secure one with the right click. But it will be UH taking this site. They have so much damage among them, though. It's going to be an issue.
They got hit with literally everything on the entry there. Not a single bit of stun utility was left in the pocket. Psyche moving in. HP, and they're both set up in hell.
1 enemy remaining.
Oh,
Last
Psyche,
player standing.
good for 1. And it's got to be Ming to close it out, but it won't. Oh, they were so close in that moment, but relevant. X-relevant. A 4K, and a little bit of an upgrade on the Guardian.
Well, not so X-relevant. He is currently relevant right now. 5-0 to start out this first half of Haven. As, I'm finding it very interesting to cast Counter-Strike in the morning and then come to Valorant in the evening.
Better not call it a bomb.
Stop. Don't even insert those terms into my vocabulary.
And no one opted to use the Scout in that previous round.
Liz, you're troll. Oh, what?
Jimmy, a great double satch rollout to land exactly into Logan's spray.
That feels bad, man. I mean, Jimmy made 1 footstep, dude. What is he supposed to do against that?
You know, lesser analysts would say dodge that. Others would say die, but now it's time for UH to make their play. And they do well. Relevant, able to secure 1. An extra as they make their way onto site. Now a 2v3. Psyche up top. Oh, a beautiful shot. I'm not sure what Sully was doing. Maybe it was a celebration.
Celebratory swing of the mouse.
1 enemy remaining.
And that's so tough coming outside of that dark cover. Ming, they only had 1 option. They had to check graffiti. And they just got lit up the second they did. Another round for Houston. And they are able to take up some upgrades throughout the bonus.
I'm going to mention it again. I'm getting flashbacks, though. Relevant is currently 7-0.
So relevant right now.
Absolutely massively relevant. No question about it. The name is sort of a faux pas.
what that means, so let's move on.
I was gonna say I'm bringing out all the SAT words this stream apparently.
Oh, Psyche!
Spike down A.
Absolute psycho. They're taking the initial peeks with the sheriff. They
Oh,
want
yeah.
some more, and Adam Solomon on death's door. They peek again. This could be deadly. Clark removes Sully. They've got the stinger in hand. A lot of damage coming from this team.
Oh, and Koi missed the aftershock too. The C's. Oh, it must have landed up top and didn't catch Koi. That's unfortunate, but UH Premier, they get caught out in a massive way.
One down.
Oh, beautiful shot from Jivy. And they're questioning, do I move forward or do we just accept that? Take the kill, enjoy it, marinate in it, and look for more here on C.
I'm really interested at what Jivy's game plan was there. I think just trying to commit some utility in order to try and convince Fisher that this is going to be a C hit, and it's actually worked pretty well. UH need to pick up the pace in order for it to be perfect, but
30 seconds
two players
left.
actually moved over towards C, and only now are they starting to get the idea that this might not be the C hit they anticipated. Flash points coming in. You know, on the side.
Logan just has to survive, but as I say that, no chance at all. And you're looking for a three-pronged retake. One from behind, one from heaven, and one from CT. And here's the thing. When you don't have a controller, you allow Psyche to take a shot like that. Now they're going to put a bit more pressure out from CT.
Last player standing.
No fault line, but also you've got Dory on the flank. And they have everything they need. Numbers advantage. And finally, a first round for Fisher.
No one looking the right direction for Houston on that retake, which is a little bit concerning. Like, just small mistakes that we haven't really seen before from UH Premier. And Fisher, this is a team that you don't give them the chance to notice those mistakes, because if you do, they will take advantage, and they will take advantage every single time. UH, you can see that this has been 3 rounds in a row, but it's not been the easiest of rounds by any means. They would lose a single gun round, and it's instantly down to a couple of Spectres. Actually, Koi somehow searched in the couch cushions, found some extra cash for a real gun.
Bro, actually, I'll make a joke later. This is a massacre. UH hit with a plethora of utility. Koi taking a lot of damage, but will walk out without a death. However, you've got Dory sitting on top of the boxes, and they don't need to move yet. There's a big haunt, huge relay bolts. Now you've got players stuck inside of Cubby, and they'll be forced out with the aftershock, and much more damage to be found with the spray through the dark cover.
Yeah, the sheer amount of utility that Fisher is putting down through the smoke is massive, but Sully, that's a freebie through the smoke. At the very least, putting UH Premier into a situation that they can potentially come back from. Meanwhile, Jivy, or excuse me, that's not Jivy. Not on, I don't know who's on the chamber right now for UH. Lurking over in mid.
Adam Solomon,
There we go.
ready for
Apologies.
a moment. And here's Chloric. Good for the kill. But it's another one for Jivy.
30 seconds left.
And it feels like no progress is made. Jivy's stuck at the mouth of C. You've got Psyche on the side of that box.
Oh,
You had
nice.
Psyche, but Sully is good for the kill.
This is winnable
It's a
now.
2-on-2.
Very much a winnable situation.
Last player standing.
Nightfall no more, though. With Sully gone down, it's Jivy versus 2. He's very good in this clutch, though.
Oh, Ming doesn't find the
Oh.
shot with the op, but they don't need it. It's actually time for the headhunter. And another one goes down for Fisher.
Still waiting.
And, you know,
Where are
you made note of it. It's that we have a, I wouldn't say wildly different, but a lot of swaps in
Yeah.
terms of agent selection. Specifically, Adam Solomon and Jivy. Adam Solomon usually
Koi.
going to be that that chamber player, reprising that role. And Jivy now on the more proactive duelist position to find those opening kills. And Koi
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, Koi moving from a duelist to an initiator. Absolutely. Big round there for Ming, by the way. Picks up a massive kill and is their first on the board as well. Has not been able to get started early into this round. That's a confidence play if I've ever seen one. Taking out Jivy in a 1v1.
Oh, this is just damage that they're hoping for, but too many players and not enough shots finding their mark for Psyche. Here comes the Rolling Thunder. Doesn't hit anybody, so you've got another one that's gonna hit everybody. Chloric following things up from CT, and they'll close it down. From the shadows, now denied. They have the spike back in grass.
That one way in towards garage is pretty rough. Difficult to maneuver around it. Sully hoping that something will be gained off the back of this, but Alex Solomon wouldn't find me. That was the guy rotating in from A-Link. So really only 2 places to be expecting, but right now from Fisher.
Is he gonna get hit with that trademark? No.
What is this? What is this play from the fade? Rotating all the way around from ceiling into A-Link now. So much time invested for this flank, it needs to work out.
I mean, it feels like we'll even have enough time. I mean, well, there it is. There's not going to be many options left. So they'll just go for the defusal. It has to be from C. Link and Dory reads it. I can't believe this plan actually worked.
Save the day.
I'm blown away, flabbergasted that they get away with it. And Dory, yeah, great work covering that off. Gets dinked in the process, doesn't go down. Long range with the Phantom is just not good. Fisher pulls it out. 3-3 now.
I'm out of here.
Though, I guess in fairness, Houston, I don't think they had a big investment last round, or maybe they did. It's all running together at this point. Adam Solomon gonna have everything to work with as they pull out the tour de force as well.
You want to play? Let's play.
Fault line. Good enough to give a word of caution, as Fisher doesn't want to take the fight, but they know it's going to be a real brawl here on A. Nightfall, that's going to confirm some locations. They realize we can't even avoid it. Showstopper, looking for a moment. It's only good with the blast back from Jivy, finding the shot in hell, and looking to the left and securing another. A big execute for Houston.
Jivy really denying the value from that C's as well. It got just 4, I think. At least 3 players from Houston. But Jivy still hits the showstopper and the follow-up shots with the rifle, too. A 2-on-4 now to retake, and Ming and company. It's a tough task, and it's made even tougher.
Nice misdirection there. This is, yeah, an execution, simply put. Dory and Ming, they have nothing left to give in that one, and they lose out on a pretty big investment. I think it's up in hand for Ming, but they do have that tour de force.
Yeah, but the problem is, Los,
That's a good spot.
I mean, I guess Ming can buy somebody, pick up the tour de force. That's still only 3 weapon buys for Fisher into this round.
Works.
And for that reason, it looks like they're going to go for a half buy, pistol armor investment. If we were over in Europe, it would be the quasi buy.
Nice little travel information. Tourist tips with Vincent Casts.
It's a new show coming out Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern.
Why, you had that, like, locked, ready to go.
I've been really thinking about my content, You've inspired me, Mr. Handsome Host Les.
Well, that's what I do, I suppose.
You are an inspiration, my friend.
Thank you. But let's see what inspiration UH will take when it comes to going for a default play. Might look for more. That's a dark cover into garage window. A lot of utility to remove the threats here. And I love that it's a little back and forth of those fault lines.
It definitely is sort of a trade of positioning and, well, for the time being, Fisher, I don't want to... Okay, well, I'll get back to Ming in a second. They've sort of played themselves here. All of that investment of utility towards C, there's nobody there with Jivy. Jivy was the only guy.
left.
They were shooting ghosts. There's the rotation. Ming gets the kill at A and causes the rotation for Jivy, who's, oh my goodness, so clean with it.
Yeah, they want more. And that's a huge paint shell. Chloric, they're halved on that HP. That's unfortunate. Nice little C's, just to be rude. And they looking to attempt to stop that plant, and they do! Doom comes up massive. All they have to do is stop the plant once again, but there's no chance. That's a round victory secured by Dory alone, and Ming is just gonna execute the last two of them.
What a turnaround there. Jivy, I felt like Jivy was like carrying the whole team on his back, faked out the site, pulled the rotates, Ming gets the kill, and then everybody rotates back, and Jivy takes the free site, and then only then Ming comes in and swings out for the frags necessary to push Fisher College to a tied scoreline once more. It's another bye, at least for both sides. Operators out for either squad. And I want to see something different from UH Premier. Psyche, we've seen this before.
They love this spot. They love this peeking. I think they're realizing a lot more danger here. Good read on the flash, and it's actually Chloric who comes through in the crossfire. Two angles. They already knew someone was going to be through A long, but they weren't expecting this additional pressure.
Psyche's use of the relay bolt has been so fantastic. I feel like I rarely feel as if that utility piece is being utilized to its fullest. Psyche has been putting it down. It's like moment after moment, Houston are stunned with the relay bolt. They just can't get out of it.
That's a beautiful use of Neon here. Well, we didn't even talk about their switches. Psyche, formerly on the Sky, now taking a much more proactive approach. But hell, I feel like with their skill on the relay bolts, they're pretty much still an initiator.
It feels like they're playing it a little bit different in that manner, for sure. But even then, putting themselves in an aggressive position to maneuver, those words are hard. It's going to be even harder for Houston to hang on to this.
Spotted. Yep. Jivy, always good for their ones. They're hoping for more. Big spray through the dark cover. Could have taken another body as Psyche is so low. They'll be the first one to run through with the overdrive. Just a body to play off of. And Dory putting that additional pressure. Jivy, the last one alive, hit with a paranoia. They're just going to go for a defusal. And I don't think they heard that. They were deafened. They're going to run through, hoping to secure it. But is there even enough time?
Oh my goodness, Logan gets away with it. There are literally 0.2 of a second remain, and Fisher College take the lead for the first time on Haven. It was all the way at the end of the game. It was 11-12 when Fisher took their first lead on Bind. They do it here in the first half on Haven.
Oh my god. It feels like Fisher, when it comes to those retakes, it's been Dory 3 separate times has come through and been that key factor to give them a victory in the post plant.
He's been sort of the quiet but very high impact guy.
So we were talking about his Psyche previously. Jivy, this time the double satchel will find value, will find success. And it's another plant on B, and a crazy one at that. Barrel about to be spotted, and Ming's dropped.
Relevant.
Psyche, what are we doing here? What is the move?
Trying to find Relevant, that's what he's doing. Oh, he's got the best sniper. He was going to lose no matter what. Dory versus 4. He's already picked up the first. Stays healthy in the Endeavor. Has the full kit to work with as well, but the spike's already planted. That's the hard part.
Got the retake Regent. Dory making an attempt, but that's a thrifty round. It seems that both squads, they're going to deal some economic blows to each other throughout this half, but enough money to have a considerable purchase going into round number 11.
What a turnaround, though, there with the Stingers. It was Relevant doing massive work, and very much, in fairness to Fisher, Jivy put himself in the position to take that 1v1. I don't really put that on Chloric, but I will say that the likes of Psyche aggressing in towards Relevant and taking those duels so aggressively was definitely a mistake.
Nice evasion of the fault line. However, this time, there's nobody there to take the fight. Psyche swap things up, and they're inside of mid-window. Rolling Thunder coming through, but it's instantly denied. A reversal of situations, and that's the moment that Psyche presents themselves. They're attempting to walk on through, but UH, they've got a problem. It's in the back. Showstopper time. It's Jimmy looking for anyone, but they only find themselves at the mercy of Fisher College.
Yeah, that was a fantastic
Round before the switch.
fantastic amount of flash utility from Logan coming through. Nobody could see a darn thing on Houston for the majority of that retake, and then by the time they were able to see it once again, they were forced to run through a dark cover, and in addition to that, they get hit with the C's. Everything goes the way of Fisher into that round, and it's a Houston timeout. Sort of their last chance to use it on the first half, as we're heading into the final round of it. But still, the investments from Fisher working out brilliantly into that last round and giving them back the 6-5 advantage.
And, you know, we're looking at the ultimates. How we've seen it be a trade of ultimates. Koi sends something out, Logan's going to send it out afterward. And when it comes to Rolling Thunders, whoever uses it second is going to have the advantage because, sure, everyone will be a little banged up in terms of the second team to use it, but they'll have that effect lasting on their opponents longer. They'll be the ones who recover first, so they could get into the advantageous position first. It's not like you're suppressed when it comes to that Rolling Thunder, so you have the opportunity to fire right back in. When it comes to that, that was just a clear, unfortunate play for UH.
No doubt about it, yeah. Here's the buy. Final round of the half. UH would love to equalize this here. Remember, this is Fisher College's pick.
Happy with this. Again, so much utility, confidence from Fisher as they lay down lead as well as utility down the grass. This is a quick rush. They're going to realize nobody's on site. You've got X-Relevant already inside of Hell, but I think that's already understood. That's realized. There's not much that they could do about it now. It's a bloodless execute, and UH take the site.
Pretty fast endeavor here for UH, and what is available for this retake? Not a ton. I like this fast lane though, putting up a lot of pressure, but they don't push off the back of it.
Well, they go off the back of a fault line and a paranoia, but they've got nothing left. They're gonna dry peek this one at this point. If Koi can get a fantastic lineup, that would be perfect. Dory good for 2, but so is X-Relevant. The firing squad, the back and forth is looking to go the way of Fisher, but now it's a 1v1. 4 bullets left for Cloric. They have to make the commitment. Time is running thin. They've got no idea where Adam Solomon is. He's playing the time perfectly, and he will succeed at equalizing this round at the end of this half.
Switching sides.
Massive moves from UH Premier. They push themselves up to 6. And you know what? I think I feel the same way that I felt after the first half on Bind. I feel like UH sort of had the run of this, generally speaking. Fisher felt like they were mostly trying to catch up, but it was ultimately an incredibly close half.
I'm loving every second of it, though. But I made this point earlier, and it's still standing true. Although it didn't find success, Dory is a retake monster. If you're looking for someone to come up with those big kills, I mean, Dory was able to pick up 2 just in those multiple swings. However, I'm curious to see what presence they'll have when it comes to an offensive capability.
It's a good question. Dory has, comparable to that first map, been an incredibly strong performer in the second. With 17 leading the scoreboard for his team, whilst in that last map, not anywhere close.
Already outperforming the performance on Bind. Adam Solomon with a good one from the top rope, but that'll be traded as they don't have an escape route. Spike is planted, and Psyche will be the first contact. And I love their willingness to sacrifice themselves just for information or to give a trade for the rest of their team.
Yeah, it's definitely a good mindset to be having. UH working from a deficit, trying to get in here. Nice bait of the utility. Unfortunately.
There it is. Jimmy goes through. They get traded out after securing a kill. Sully follows up with 2. and Dory will finish it off.
Man, close but no cigar. That's exactly the look, though, that Fisher College have been so good at. Their trades have been on point. They've been in these situations where it gets very close, but it's still their round. And that's what's been able to edge them out, and what helped edge them out over on Bind. UH Premier unable to overcome the deficit that they had lost out to in the initial trades. Fisher College set up for a default. Not a lot of presence towards the A position, though, for either team, actually. You can see that Adam is actually aggressed into that angle, holding pretty far forward, but otherwise, it's all towards C for Fisher.
Cover going out. No charges.
Here comes the real push. Blind, paranoia, and everything in between. Psyche always seems to, it feels like they start the round with low HP. Based on every time there's an actual fight, they're ripped to shreds. Something on the rotation.
Bye-bye.
And it's a good shot with the Bulldog. This is seeming to be another one of those rounds where Fisher College are just going to run through. That's what we would have expected. It is the forced buy round. Adam Solomon might be able to pick up a second, but that will not be the case.
Fisher College confirming the 2 rounds out the back of the pistol, making this a 8-6 scoreline. And Los, I'm loving what I'm seeing. This has been brilliant from Fisher. The start to this half has been exactly what they needed. With that being said, this is a very important round to measure with. Ming has invested the operator. Okay, Ming has not invested the operator.
Nah, they just want to change their mind real quick. This doesn't feel like the right round, though.
I guess not. I mean, okay,
wait, no, there it is!
Ming, stop baiting us.
Baited. Yeah, we're getting baited. Okay, Psyche sending out the relay bolts. They've done everything to create the space needed for this site, and they'll be able to upgrade for a Vandal. And with 1 kill, I mean, it's really coming down to Ming to open things up. UH, they're completely blocked out. You've got 2 flashpoints. Here comes the second one, but it's off the back of a huge paranoia off of Dory. And there it goes, leaving Sully to pick up the pieces. A double kill. That's well done indeed. But they still have 3 more players to remove.
Yeah, an ace required. That's the problem. And nobody's peeking. Nobody's giving Sully the chance. And he just barely survives that first engagement.
Now everything is going to close in. And Clark finishing it off with a Bulldog. This is a well-executed string of 3 rounds for Fisher.
Yeah, and I was going to mention before Ming trolled me that round was so important, not only because of the invested operator and how much money that is put into ultimately what wasn't going to be a bonus but was a full gun round, but also the Bulldogs. There was 2 Bulldogs and 1 Phantom. There was only 1 SMG. And Fisher College, they take that risk that they're going to win that round, and it's beautiful. Well worth the investments. As University of Houston, they are back down on the save. It's 9-6, and Fisher College on the cusp of double digits.
Psyche running on through, kicking in high gear. Oh, looking for the opportunity, but it's a double stack on the boxes. And you've got Dory so far up. There's so many targets. Adam Solomon will continue to find more pressure, but here's Galaric again swinging on by Graffiti. And they've eliminated everyone until Sully. They want to show their heads, but Ming with the op. He's Ming chilling. And that's a 10th round for Fisher College.
Oh, man. The best kind of chilling. University of Houston Premier. Where do they go from here? And that's not just a rhetorical question. I think there's an answer. I don't know what the right one is, but I think that UH need to figure out a way to take some space on the defensive side. They've only, to be fair, only had 1 other gun round beyond this one, but it's imperative that they create some defensive space to rotate. Okay, they're going to do just that. Push C, push A. Both long positions being engaged upon. The problem for them is that it's actually B that's being hit. Fisher College actually make the perfect decision to counteract University of Houston's aggression.
Psyche is so aggressive, and they haven't spotted them. McCoy removes that effort. Push into A-Link. Gonna be an issue. Now it's a major post play. It's focused on mid and extra relevant. Oh, they're so relevant now. You have to worry about the back line. Ming removes it. Jivvy, though, another pinch to be found. 3 players on site. Jivvy out from the mid window. They'll be able to escape. I can't believe that. It's a commitment all the way through. I think it's also a
Is that?
aftershock. I don't think that hits. Wait, no, it does. It's also a fault line to try and clear them off, but Adam Solomon on the tour de force, they're able to keep it cool. That was such a wacky attempt to try and take that one back, Vincent.
I'm convinced there's not a place that you can plant on B site that can't be hit by an aftershock. It feels like it doesn't matter where you plant. If you're in some position, you can find an aftershock to hit the plant. Doesn't matter where. Fisher College losing out on a pretty important round, but I think UH Premier, they need to recognize that that's not all that's required. This is not a one and done type scenario. They need to find more. They need to find something off the back of this, and the quickness of Psyche's aggression in towards Garage is worrying, with Ming going straight up for the duel on Adam.
That's a drawback when you don't have anyone playing a Garage, you're relying on the trademark. When you've got that pick, wait, how did X-Relevant even get here?
It was here the whole time.
Oh my god, the trigger discipline off this Omen. It pays off major dividends. And that'll be another round for UH. A 4K for X-Relevant. You'll think twice about that. We've seen the corners not being cleared before, but this is a disaster for Fisher.
Wish we had a replay of that, but Houston, what happened, I think, I'm not 100% sure, because I caught Relevant out of the corner of my eye on that C-take. I think he was just behind the boxes, may have shrouded step around and got back in the back line, but he was on the site the whole time. Actually, it was the fast lane that cut him off from the rest of the take and gave them that positioning. Fisher College with a big giveaway, and Psyche continuing to get creative with some of these. All right,
an attempt with the overdrive, not quite going to find what they were looking for. And this is much more confidence from UH. A continuously fast play. Oh no! That from the shadows. It still is an escape, but it's also more pressure from long. X-Relevant does it again. How can they possibly be this useful with the Omen mobility? Love to see it, but now there's so much pressure left onto Fisher College that it's just an impossibility that they find victory here.
What an aggressive from the shadows. You just don't see that every day. Nearly gets taken out in that first engagement. A double headshot with the Stinger, if I'm not mistaken, was 1 or 2 bullets from death. Gets from the shadows out from that position, ends up going aggressive at long, and steps up massively. It's time for Psyche and the rest of Fisher to take a timeout. See what Rascal and the rest of the coaching staff have to offer, because those couple of rounds were definitely problematic.
And they did the same thing 2 times in a row. And the same thing happened 2 times in a row, Vincent, where it was X-Relevant on the other side, getting a flank, whether it's through the shrouded step, whether it's through from the shadows. They came through in C-Long and made a nightmare of a situation for Fisher College. But I can tell you, you won't have a nightmare for your back when you're sitting in a nice Mavix chair. Thank you so much for Mavix for giving support for this league, as I'm sitting in one myself, and I'm sitting pretty, Vincent.
Definitely high-quality stuff. Maybe you want to check one of those out. Definitely support them. Fisher College, well, they're going to need some support right here. Their lead is crumbling. 4 rounds at the beginning of this half. Suddenly fought back to a near equalizer. UH Premier. And in fairness to Fisher, the way you characterized that was that it was the same exact thing. And it was, in principle, but it was very different executions. I don't know that they could have anticipated that.
Huge win for Adam Solomon. Psyche able to...
They're not going to know. They don't have a clue. He's done it again. Lowe's not like this.
This feels illegal. I can't believe it. Adam Solomon, another one right after X-Relevant, continues to become such a nuisance, such a pain for Fisher.
He has literally become part of the shadows.
He's round every corner.
That's exactly
so is
right.
Dory. They expect such a close angle. Yep. Adam hits him with the shotgun. And this leaves Logan alone. 1v4 that they'll deal with, and that's a good start, but they have so much more to build upon, and there is a potential flank to ensue. Once this engagement against Sully or Jivvy takes place, it's going to be a pretty quick turnaround in terms of a trade.
Swift indeed. 10-10. This matchup is delivering. It really is, Los. I was initially a little disappointed that we weren't going to see the Varsity Premier semis. I'm no longer disappointed in the slightest when I saw this matchup come across our metaphorical desks. UH Premier on the comeback trail, 4 in a row to answer the 4 that Fisher College picked up at the start of this half. We are back to status quo, you could say. And it's a bit of a long aggression from Fisher.
Oh, a miss from Adam. It'll take a little bit of damage, but he won't die. And X-Relevant, this time it's a face-to-face fight. And they earn their pick from mid.
He can do that? I didn't know that.
You know, it was released in the patch notes, though that's possible.
Oh. Yeah, my bad. Didn't check those. Only thing I didn't check on, though, is whether or not Fisher could make this work, especially with this aggression.
This is wacky, but I like it from Psyche. They'll take one, and they'll back off. And a little bit of extra damage onto Koi as well. It's not something they would hate to see. Showstopper. Yep, that's a good one. It's a freebie onto Caloric. And will it be another round, the 11th? UH. They'll take a little bit of damage in that eco, but
They're on the
not enough.
comeback. They're on the comeback. UH Premier, man. I'm telling you, I get flashbacks. Their retakes are simply phenomenal. They have been unstoppable, and Relevant has been unstoppable. Fisher College, what do you do? I don't know. I don't know that they've been doing too much in like the quote-unquote wrong category. It's more like Houston have been able to retake effectively so many times, and Relevant has been catching them out of position or even been in positions that have been unexpected so many times.
Nobody on A this time. It'll be a full-on retake scenario. Fisher doesn't know that. They don't want to run into an ambush, as they have done so many times in the previous rounds. So they'll keep it back. I'll go for a default. Adam Solomon pushed up quite a bit, and they have the escape. They've got the tour de force. Anybody who even thinks about entering his crosshairs is toast.
Well, problem is nobody entering those crosshairs for the time being. Fisher College, in fact, moving about as far away from those crosshairs as imaginable as they hit the A site. Nobody's going to be home, but that's okay. As mentioned, the retakes have been the keys for success. UH, good to let this go, and there's dueling Rolling Thunders prepared for the retake. So I imagine Houston's going to throw theirs first, and it's going to be answered by Fisher's.
But the thing is, there's not a cluster of players who'll be caught out by either one. So won't find everybody. Yeah, it was just waiting. And Psyche is just getting bullied right now along with Dory. But in the end, those won't really find anything. Psyche does secure a shot as they go for the swing into CT. Now it's a massacre, but Dory and Clark are keeping it into a 1v1 because Adam Solomon, they've got the op. It has to be a swing from Clark. Oh my God, Adam Solomon!
I don't think he has it. He doesn't.
Maybe not. No! It was a beautiful shot. An amazing one indeed, but it doesn't matter. As Fisher College, they bought enough time. They kept themselves in this round alive enough to secure that spike explosion and an 11th round equalizer after a beautiful run from UH.
Oh my goodness, man. The fact that Adam hits that shot is so impressive, but Unfortunately for him, couldn't get the half position. That's what would have been required for the victory. And so for that, enough is done. And Fisher College tie the game right back up. And this is literally anyone's game. I'm not making any predictions here. Both teams could take this here and now. Fisher, the only one with an ultimate. I mean, in fairness, Psyche could have grabbed that orb for the overdrive, but I mean, it's like, arguably in some ways
That's a
worse
downgrade.
than the neural theft. So,
Well, no, neural theft is good now. Don't hate.
that's yet to be determined. Is better now.
All right, I'll accept that. But enough debate. Time for the take. And this is a moment where we've seen X-Relevant be so deadly, but actually, it's gonna be Psyche who walks on through, but Sully and Relevant! Oh! They don't even need to do mind games. They don't need to play any dirty tricks. They just have that straight, beautiful gunplay. And in the end, they'll secure a map point as they want map 3.
Sully playing the role of a bully right there. The sight as they bully their way through. And Relevant, brilliant defense of Sully's position as well. Sully goes down after just a single kill. If it weren't for the fact that Relevant were able to find the player, I don't even remember who it was flanking, but I think it was Psyche who ended up going down. Massive, massive moves, and look at the buy. It is nothing really for Fisher College.
A ghost. Abysmal. Look at what Fisher can bring to the table. I got overdrive. Hey, that's something. Got 2 players waiting for this approach. It's gonna be Koi and Jivy. Those are some serious threats. Not the ones that have been making major impact in the previous rounds, but threats enough.
I like the slower, methodical play here from Fisher in this round, Los. It makes sense considering the fact that we went down the path of aggression in the previous round, especially over towards C. Not to say the aggression was the problem. I don't think it was. It was Sully doing all of the dirty deeds on C. But regardless, here we are. Here's that push. It's going to be the overdrive to lead the way. But as per the usual arrangement, Los, there's nobody actually committed to this site.
That's how they want it. They've got the Nightfall.
Oh, Ming is critical. Ming needs to get something massive here.
Okay, with that commitment, here comes Ming. Oh! After a bit of whip shots, they secure it. And Psyche is doing good work there as well. Relevant's gone. It's over for Adam Solomon as long as they can take 1. That's all they'll get. And we're heading into overtime after a critical pinch from Ming gives them the safety they need, the relief they needed to not have a big rush out from CT.
What a massive, massive move from Fisher College. And I said it was critical for Ming. Ming gets the 1 kill needed. That 1 kill is enough to do the damage, but also to add so many question marks because UH can no longer take their time, methodically clear angles. They have to just go. They have to swing. They have to play fast, and they play fast right into the waiting arms of the rest of Fisher College.
And not to mention, Sully loses out on Prowlers for blinding activity. Koi doesn't have the time to think about sending in their flashpoints, their fault lines, to make that position for Fisher even more difficult. Enough talking. Time to get into OT. And Ming, undetected, without fail. The Prowler doesn't secure them. They have an up in hand. And this is dangerous because Jivy, they walked on through B. No one was there to stop them. Dory is, however, at the back of his sight. And they're in trouble.
Big trouble with Adam Solomon doubling down. UH Premier going to be looking to take the first round of overtime, and it will be guaranteed unless this 2v4 can come to fruition. Psyche joined by the Breach. There's not a lot on the cards, though. This is so difficult.
Last player standing.
Good tap down a little bit onto Adam Solomon. Good for 1, but time is of the essence, and time is exactly what Fisher College don't have.
Gotta go.
Psyche is able to secure some kills, but it's a one-way smoke on the spike. But they have a chance with the fast lane. And it's going to be a shot regardless. The spray, too close to home.
UH Premier,
Switching
they've
sides.
got the match point.
Match point.
They want to send this to a third. They want it set, and they want it bad. Fisher College, what can they do to stop them? That'll be another overtime, maybe. This time they can do it with the rifles. Before, they had to do it with, kitchen utensils and such. Those weren't as effective. These are much better.
And Solomon opting for the op. They've got no armor. They're pushing themselves down into sewers. But there's also an additional threat.
I mean,
No one's gonna take the fight. Adam Solomon takes a shot, goes away for the rendezvous, right into the crosshairs of Psyche. It was a read because they had the look on the totem.
Spike
And
planted.
now it's a plant, a lost op, and a big hit for Houston to take.
Yeah, for him to go down so early, he's been critical in these moments, critical in the retakes. University of Houston, where can they go?
Bomb buddy out.
Oh, missed.
It's a loss on the Roomba. Boy, now, they're not trying to miss their shots. Jimmy good for one, but in the end, it's ending up as X-Relevant. The 1v2, securing their ones, 46 HP, and they've been spotted. Maybe use of the Prowler to get the half. But Clork gets the kill, so it doesn't matter how much progression there is, we're going into a double OT.
And
Switching
once again
sides.
there, the trade
Overtime.
frags are in the favor of Fisher because of that initial pick. With Adam Solomon going down, it is brutality. Fisher College, here we go again, they say. And I'm here for it, Los. I'm here for as many rounds as they want to give us.
Absolutely, Vincent. This is a wonderful display. Collegiate Valorant. And they didn't get a real good opportunity because it was just a massacre over on C. This seems to be much more
Satchel out.
B-centric. However, let's look into Garage, into C, and leave some options open, and leave some question marks in the minds of Fisher.
Oh, Psyche.
Psyche, they're good for it, and Adam Solomon, again the first one to fall. Here's a Prowler, maybe to give some space and allow Psyche an exit, but they don't want one yet.
What a massive read from Psyche. This could put Fisher College on the map. This could put them over the edge and give them a match point to play with. Not only a match point, but a series point. But I'm getting ahead of myself. It's still a 5-on-4.
Nightmares over.
And now
Oh,
it's
Dory
not.
at the angle, but
Four.
Jimmy wins it out.
What a massive turn from Jivy. Just to swing at that right time. Now this setup. All four players, Los, they're coming from the same angle.
Jimmy's hit with the fault line, also the relay bolts. You've got all the corners cleared. No one inside the back of sight, and now trying to run through. They run the gamut of Sully with a 3K. Coy to follow it up and clean things out.
Face your fear.
UH
Switching sides.
starting off the double OT
Match
with a
point.
victory.
That is incredible. By the way, this is third OT, is it not?
No, I think this is double.
You're right. Forgive me. I'm slow. It's fine. Timeout. I don't know what the exact rules are for overtime. I think we had like one overtime on the stream this season, so.
Yeah, not very frequent here at the NACE Star League. Regardless, definitely need some time to slow things down because you don't really have that opportunity. It's just go, go, go. So UH, I want to keep things slow. I want to really think about what this next approach could be from Fisher. And it's not going to be a forward play from Adam Solomon, I can tell you that.
I feel like Fisher have got to figure out a way to win something on their defensive half. Because they can't figure it out. They hit A every single time, and then, they're able to win, hold off the retake. Great. I'm not knocking that, Los. But, you know, that's just one side of the coin.
Gotta go.
This time you will have resistance. But they'll back off instantaneously. Jivvy doesn't want to get involved. And they'll head over to the box on A. And back up. Just keep themselves safe in case any flashes, any onslaught is here. But Adam Solomon, that's the one you gotta watch out for. And Floric realizes it, but they don't expect a forward push. Relevant is here. They put on the pressure, and that's 2 dead for Fisher.
Houston. They can't keep getting away with this. This could be the round. This could be the turn. And Sully looking to double it down. This is almost going to be the case in the 2v4. Fisher need a miracle.
Last player standing.
They needed Sully there. And it's Logan, a 1v3 with 30 HP. Oh, they finally got Sully, who has been such a nuisance, alongside with Relevant. 2 nightmare characters, really living up to their names. And this is, well, it's an inevitability. 35 seconds left, and Logan has to make a move. Be
30
really
seconds left.
the only option here, considering the time constraints. I think the second that they make some sound cues, it'll just be a collapse.
Yeah, the health disadvantage here makes this so much more unwinnable. Not that it's impossible, but more difficult than it would be otherwise.
10
Here's
seconds
the
left.
plant. Relevant's going to come around the corner. This should be over.
And it was about to be. Okay. A bit of that rolling thunder. No one's here, though. As Relevant, they will finish things off. As we knew this was the end for quite some time, but finally we have the relief that it's going to be a map 3.
Defenders win.
What a way to end it out. It took a couple of overtime periods, but University of Houston Premier push it over the edge and give us a third map. A massively interesting series this has been. It goes all the rounds on map number 1. An upset on the pickup bind. Fisher take it, but Fisher unfortunately pushed back, and they are denied a 2-0 sweep.
No, not going to be the case. And that comes off the back of 2 players. It's gotta be X-Relevant. It's got to be Sully. Those 2 in tandem had just been a monumental threat that Fisher was never able to really overcome when it mattered most, specifically in that OT. They had the time, they had the opportunity to strike first, but it was always these 2 players racking up the multi-kills, racking up the positioning. Simply from X-Relevant was phenomenal and should be admired till the end of collegiate days.
Yeah, no doubt about that. X-Relevant really putting on a show, showing why they have taken this spot, pushing them over the edge. With that being said, we're headed to Ascent next. That'll be after this short break. We'll see you in just a few minutes.
One more map to determine who's walking into those grand finals. It's been back and forth and even going into that double OT, but in the end, UH Premier, Cougs, they've made it. We're headed over to a set to see who's going to deliver us one final victory.
It is all for the for the spot in the finals, for the bragging rights, and, well, to be honest with you, probably for a whole lot more, as these two teams fighting for it all. It has gone the distance, both map number 1 and map number 2, and a third. Honestly, I don't know what to expect. What I do know is that the things that need to change if we want to see a victory for Fisher College, X-Relevant has to be stopped. He needs to be shut down in some way. And if X-Relevant, Sully, and Jivy are all playing as well as they did on Haven, on Ascent, that's a team that's hard to beat.
Yeah, they were all walking in. I think it was with the 26 kills, 25 kills, and 23 kills for X-Relevant, Sully, and Jivy.
Yep.
They were top in the leaderboards. They were non-stop. And we need that resurgence. I mean, Dory, you know, I highlighted their ability to hold sites and be that Owen player who could be so stalwart in a defense. And they did a good job, but unfortunately, in many cases, they were having difficulty getting onto the site itself. Once they got there, a lot easier. They had a really hard time setting that in motion.
Yeah, that definitely was a consistent factor. The other thing that was a consistent factor was the retakes coming from UH Premier. They were phenomenal. Pretty much the entirety of their defensive half, and in fairness, it kept them alive a couple of times on the side of the defense when they were able to pull off the retakes and make the moves necessary. But here's a set. We're getting into it. Agent selection back in and underway, and it looks pretty interesting. A big difference spotted already, and that's Ming on the KJ. Whereas I think Sully at least looks to be looking to lock in the Sova.
That's a counter pick. That's a big one. I feel like you usually have to have that Sova just as the precaution, but also the Hunter's Fury is so critical on this map in terms of if there's a lockdown that you need to remove, but also for sussing out information. Because while it is a sizable map, a nicely sized map, there's a lot of nooks and crannies, and it could almost feel constrained once you're on the site proper. So the Hunter's Fury does such a great job of getting information from either side of the map.
Yeah, done a very good job. One of the other things, I'm just actually realized that these differences are actually a little bit more than I had initially given them credit for. And because we see the KO, the Omen, the Sova for both sides, but Adam committed to the use of this chamber, I think that's fine. But it is a big difference between Caloric and Adam on this, and same for Koi and Ming. I tend to think that this fade, whilst good, if you don't have the nade to combo with it, is a little bit less relevant.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the real information game is going to come off the back of Sully. However, a lot of information off that 0 point. So I'm happy about that one. And they're going to be happy even more as they can take a freebie off Adam Solomon. You've also got presence up mid. That's the alarm bot recognized. But a deep push into B main for Fisher.
Well, speaking of deep pushes, deep push into mid. Pretty solid from Houston. But all of that space gained is space that is left open for that Fisher B aggression that you just talked about. And they have mid. They're pushing forward. Fisher, they have so much info.
It's gonna be a nightmare once they realize it. That was almost like the
Last
sniper
player
mission
standing.
from Call of Duty. Pick your target, hold it down, and psych with a 3-piece. This just seemed like a non-starter for UH. They were walking in. I don't feel that they fired back once.
I mean, they didn't have a chance to. How could they do anything about those two players who were waiting in mid? They really were playing the sniper mission from COD. It was boom, boom, you're dead. No chance to turn, no chance to shoot back. With the rest of the team, though, Psych especially really stepping up into the forefront. UH, no heavy investment this round, I don't believe, but a pretty broad approach. The spike dropped in spawn.
Yeah, keeping their options open here. That's a one-way over on A main. No information really when it comes to B, but just a little sound cue. That's it. Everyone on Fisher. Lips locked. Keeping it tight. No one saying nothing. No one making a peep.
Shadows traveling.
Rightfully so. Hold on to their weapons. Relevant. Alive for a little bit longer than they would have expected.
A little longer. It's still not a lot. Fragment to deny any further aggression, and in addition to deny the orb from being grabbed, at least for the time being. Spike still not in hand. No commitment from UH by any means.
Oh, body. Doing in some work. That's 20 damage.
Dude,
20 may be a lot here.
Sully just
30
standing
seconds
there and
left.
Soba going, that's be the funniest thing to me.
I'm a fan of it. I'm here for it. This is a slow burn, but nothing's gonna happen for Houston. They're still taking
they
the
die.
10
That's
seconds
what they need
the
to
shift
Last
walks.
player
Yeah,
standing.
they're
Spike down.
realizing they might be in trouble. Jimmy is looking for someone to kill him. He's like, please, please,
Shoot
just
me.
kill
Oh, they're
me.
gonna leave him alive. That is brutal.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that's so rude.
Jivy can't find anybody to murder him, and for that, he has no money at all. 950 in the bank account. That's rough, man.
That's hilarious. I love it. And I love, that's exactly what was going in Clark's mind. Like, you're not killing me, bro. I am speed. Enjoy the no money next round, bozo.
That's right. Big ol' victory there, just in the economy game for Fisher. Denying pretty much everything. All right. Engagement.
Free fire
Bam.
from Psych. McCoy is the one who comes out on top in that department.
Not sure he should have gone back for more there.
Yeah.
Sully, man, that's rough, dude. We've all been there.
That was one of those. Wait, was that 2 kills right there?
It sure was.
Oh my lord.
That's
What a
what we
round.
call an F1 race car peak right there. The old Ferrari zoom.
Dynamic duo. The gruesome twosome. Now, was that I know that was supposed to be a car. It sounded like a cat.
Okay, listen, I apologize. You know, sometimes I get things mixed up.
Oh, good. It's, oh my god, that could have been disastrous. I thought that was an anti-flash play. Relevant though,
30
able to
seconds
secure one kill before they make their assault. Ming, they're sitting inside a boathouse. They've got the Guardian in hand.
Last player
Stay
standing.
safe.
It's
Oh,
got
what a
another.
beautiful shot. They want more, and they'll get it. A 4K for Ming with the Guardian. Living up to that name, guarding B site. A beautiful play by the Killjoy.
That fragment doesn't reach all the way back to clear the full position that Ming is in, and you know, normally it's like that's not the biggest of deals. Ultimately, that is the reason that the round goes to Fisher. Well, and you know, Ming hitting all the shots, that too helps. But 3 to nothing, and you gotta give him credit. Fisher picking up a victory there in the first gun round. We saw that, you know, here and there in the last map, but still, that's not by any means an easy maneuver. And Dory maneuvering their way into an opening pick there at A.
Happy about that one. Now we've got a double stack, double push up through mid. Watching each angle. However, what do we have here in terms of the defense? It's a consistent poke, but you also have the turret that's on top of the switch. And Logan, sitting inside a market, completely undetected. They were more focused on the bot, but in the end, Adam Solomon
Last
pick
player
up the kill.
standing.
Dory, a third of their own, and Adam Solomon, they're in so much pain. They've got no real chance unless they can string together a beautiful series of shots from the Headhunter. Here's a second attempt, but it is denied. And 2 4Ks in a row here for Fisher as they earn their 4th round.
Did Psyche DC? No, still here. I don't know what that was, but it looked like they were not particularly shooting back on Catwalk right there. Just maybe a slower reaction regardless. It's Fisher College to win the round, though at some hefty cost. It's not a free one like many of the past in UH Premier. Without the money to invest in operator, they're interested in only one thing, this A site.
Bring them down.
Time to make a move.
Oh,
But
they're not
this
gonna
time, it's Ming holding it down, but actually Dory secures 2 from line. Didn't even notice they were there, and that is such a critical loss. Here come the Nano Swarms, and they've got nothing to overcome this. You've got the Shrouded Step, but X-Relevant only has 10 HP. Jivvy, good for a trade, but that's all they'll get. Psych finishing it off 5-0. It seems that UH, they're not really coming into these rounds with a major plan.
I mean, they had a plan there. Actually, it was just the plan didn't work. So, I guess if you have a plan and it fails, is your plan effective? No, not really. But at least you had one. I don't know. What I do know is that Houston needed to make sure to check wine there. There's just no world in which you should be giving that up for free, and Dory gets 2 off the back of it. Unacceptable.
Oh, that's a big hit for Cloric. I think they'll go in for a second one because Adam Solomon is taken out by the Odin. Oh,
It's been a while.
pain ensued.
I haven't seen one of those in a hot minute, Los.
As we'd all hope to not see again. Jivvy, as well as Koi, they're playing it close. They're keeping each other calm and collected. However, Ming, they're not giving up their life.
Spike
No!
down A.
Body!
Feels bad, man.
Oh, that's crazy. Koi almost loses out to the Nano Swarms as well. I'm sure they'll be able to get that plant off, but both UH players are ripped to shreds. 23 HP and maybe 10 on the other. Paranoia, there to keep some pressure. Next Relevant, able to spray through that cloud burst. Some good work for them, so this actually can be a doable situation.
Oh, they got
Their
half.
ankles right.
Satisfying.
It is
Last
half.
player standing.
However, Koi's stuck. We could just see a run and gun. I wouldn't be surprised about it, but Logan stands firm. And Koi has to swing into that one.
I can't believe Psyche got half. Just sitting right around the corner. A little bit of a crazy endeavor. Fisher, though, going to win the round regardless. It is 6-0. They've already confirmed just halfway. Half of these rounds are theirs. And I cannot believe how dominant this has been. After we just saw 2 maps in a row go max rounds and more, 6 rounds in a row seems crazy.
Without a doubt. I mean, it's not even close. Not even that they're matches that rounds that really ended nail biters, where there's a lot of money lost from Fisher.
Yeah.
They're coming out with money bags. They're happy with these results.
Well, honestly, it's the eco rounds that have been the closest. It's the gun rounds that have really looked one-sided. Here's another one of these gun rounds.
And that's where we've had a much more daring UH. This time, they're slowly walking through. Gonna get tagged up by that alarm bot. But a huge pickup from X-Relevant. This is something necessary. They can now make their way over into B site because it is being cleared out by Adam Solomon as we speak, but it's a feint. It's actually headed to one, and that's a read from Ming. They're kind of realizing this is a possibility here.
Yeah, especially with that dark cover going to go out. Ming hits a brilliant shot. The blinder on the Relevant.
That's everything. But here's Adam Solomon with the tour de force, but it's blocked off by the Cloudburst. And now they know 2 options here. Either from Market or from B. Either way, they've got it covered. And how annoying is that for Adam? He has to just walk through. Logan's keeping it under watch. And Adam has no chance.
Boy, forced down to the middle of the open, and yeah, that timing on the lockdown was brilliant, wasn't it? Rarely do I say that about a lockdown. I feel like there's not a lot of, like, it's a good bit of utility, but there's just so much counterplay to it that it's hard to be finding new ground. But they found some new ground there, broke that ground, and did a good job of cultivating it. As Fisher College have now won the half at 7-0, and there's still 5 more rounds to play. UH Premier, what has happened? They have fallen apart.
We need a timeout.
Sully is a secret agent. He's James Bond.
No. We desperately need University of Houston to have a timeout, reassess what's going on, because this is not a successful endeavor for them.
Oh, what's happening? Sully is lagging out. That could be part of the problem, in fairness.
Just a little bang dink on the jivvy.
I'm out here memeing Sully, singing the James Bond theme while she's got 70 ping or something. Toxic Vincent.
That's rough. That's playoffs, Vincent. You're mean. Fair. Psych. With another headshot, and this is another round of executions. 2 kills for UH with the Sheriffs. Commendable at the very least, but looking at the larger picture, it is certainly not. Please, call a timeout.
There we go. They've finally done it. You know, somebody could really mistake Fisher for guillotine salesman the way they've been cutting off heads here. It's pretty ridiculous. Houston, look at the frags. They haven't been able to shoot back. And that's what's, I think, so crazy to me individually, is that individual lack of firepower.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a stark difference from the individual prowess we've gotten to take a look at in the previous 2 rounds, because these were much closer affairs. I'm not sure, maybe there must have been a rough go on Ascent. I mean, this is University of Houston. They won the previous map. If anyone should be coming into this feeling hot and feeling fresh, it should be the Cougars, but it's the exact opposite. It feels like they've lost their composure, like they lost the previous map in Double OT. Like they don't have this, I guess, just team sync in terms of being able to pull off these executes. I don't know what's going on, but I really hope that this timeout can give them some clarity on what they need to do next.
You know, I think, to postulate a little bit, I think part of it could be that they just put so much heart and soul into that last map that they've sort of run out of a little bit of steam. That does happen. And especially for a Houston team that isn't used to dropping maps. I mean, their quarterfinal matchup, it was a 2-0 against a top-ranked Illinois roster.
Now they have the opportunity. And a big one at that. Taking the site, and Adam
There we
Solomon
go.
taking lives as well. This is a good look. A new one, and a great one. Jivvy putting extra pressure from top of Cat. And there's no opportunity at all for Fisher to take this one. And they'll just cycle some weapons away. Logan says, I've got money to play around with. Let's just send it with the Odin.
I really don't know what the point of carrying that gun around is. Maybe just to like play defense of the operator with the rifle and then the op at the end.
Oh, Lord.
That ain't great. Okay, Chlorix is coming back. They're going for this.
I think they just want exits. Try and make this victory hurt as much as possible. As interesting as that is to say.
Last
Oh.
player standing.
Oh, that was a great attempt. The updraft onto that wall. Irrelevant. They're quick on the draw. So finally, on round number 9, we have UH pick up the pace and show us a glimpse of what we saw earlier in the series.
Yeah, I
really,
mean,
for the entirety of the series.
Exactly, it was Adam Solomon finally getting something going. A fast attack in towards the A site. It was a split of all things. And Adam Solomon gets the key double frag required to push Fisher back. UH Premier. They need more. And they need it bad.
Nowhere to run!
Good read onto Logan's previous plays.
Ooh,
Psych.
you see that dodge from Logan? Man was in the Matrix there for a moment, Los.
Oh no, and things are falling apart now as this is such a spread out play. They were looking for a default, but now they're defaulting on their loans. The car payments are due, and they don't got the cash.
Oh no.
But it's a good kill from Sully, at least down from mid to give them extra space and breathing room. Adam Solomon needs to go massive, and they do it again, but Cloric is here with the op to keep things under control. Sully is far away. Renee main. They don't have too much impact, especially with this Cloudburst as well as the Fragment. Logan, they don't really have that impact they're looking for either. And Koi is still good for this shot if they can make a swing. But they really can't because there's too many bullets in the Odin. Sully in the 1v1 looking to close it out. But is there enough time? Oh,
yeah.
There's plenty.
There is loads of time, Los. Not a problem. Nearly 10 seconds to spare on that clock. And yeah, unfortunately, you mentioned Houston defaulting. Looking rough. Looking like FTX right now.
Man. That's what you get for investing in crypto, really.
What?
They were defaulting on their loans earlier, and they're really losing out on this one now. But hey,
Yes.
That works.
UH, at least they have something to buy with here. I mean, it's not all lost. Adam Solomon, we've seen what he can do with this headhunter. In fairness, though, Jivvy was usually the guy that we had seen, but Adam definitely not a poor performer on it. But Dory, how has he been able to find this much information?
Jivvy peeks. Yep, that's it. Now Dory doesn't care if they realize or they break that trademark. Oh my God, are they gonna take the role?
They don't
of
know.
X
They have
relevant?
no idea.
Oh, they'll just wait, but this might sour the longer they wait. And they realize that could be the case. Good paranoia stops Adam
Is he gonna
Solomon from
whine?
trading it out.
I was hoping he was going to go to wine there and swing out. That would have been BM, and I would have been on board. Instead, plays the more reasonable scenario, goes to spawn, just goes and swings at mid, finds an additional kill there.
Oh boy. At least rifle here for Sully. Around the corner.
30 seconds
is
left.
certain death.
Last
Logan
player
with the
standing.
chainsaw.
Burr.
Spike down.
Cuts up another one. Adam Solomon steps to the plate. And hey, they are an effective challenge. We've seen that in the previous rounds. Here they come again, but they're stalled out by the Fragment and Psych as well.
Yeah, Psyche Knight's close there in the round,
Last
making
round
sure that
in the
things don't
half.
get too far out of hand. UH, at least they've made this not a entirely lost half, but
Placing
it's
swarm grenade.
not great. The most they can get is a second here. And even that would be devastating. There's not a lot of good things to say right now about UAs, but what I will say about Fisher is they have stepped up massively. And you know who's the guy? What's the same guy as last map who's trying to bring them over the edge? It's Dory.
Okay, paranoia, potential, but Adam Solomon, they're inside the rendezvous. Yep,
Nope.
they'll back up.
Deploying drone.
Saw that paranoia come at him. He's like, no, thank you. I'll be heading out. Peace.
I mean, come on, last round. Might as well ego it, right?
Listen, it's 1 to 10. No egos are here. Literally 0 egos.
This is ego death. For UH, they have to find something. Something worth living for, worth fighting for. In this round, at least, to give them a buffer. A buffer from series point, tournament life. Started off with Jibby in a great use of that lockdown, but they had such little health. A single shot from the Hunter's Fury is all they needed. Sully making great progress going through mid, removing that Hunter's Fury from play. But now it has turned into an absolute brawl. Adam
One
Solomon,
enemy remaining.
they had so much promise with the tour de force,
Where
but
did
it
those
doesn't make a
bullets-
connection.
I don't know where they went. They disappeared into the ether. Los, it looked like they connected.
Spike
Dory
planted.
versus 1.
Oh, this is good movement
no
from
way,
Sully.
no way.
All the timing here. It's so perfect. It's delicious, Vincent. And
Dory
so
has
much time.
no idea.
But I would also say, neither does Sully.
That's fair.
They're both completely clueless. And I think if he goes for a check on Speedway, that's going to be an issue. Okay.
Scanning ahead.
He's gonna get half at least.
Oh, I think he tagged... No. He did tag
He
him.
did! That's
I think
brutal.
he's playing around with it again. Nope. It's a fake. And Dory swings
have it?
outside of it.
I think he
And
might
they
have
have to, so they have to.
Yeah. Dory saying, nah, this is my house, baby. You better sit back down. The king is on his throne. 11 to 1. 11 to 1. UH
If you showed me
Premier.
the scored line at the beginning of the series, I wouldn't believe you.
I know. I'd call you a liar. I'd say, "Oh, okay, Lo, stop being unreasonable." I'm also a little bit floored that, I mean, when you look at the power of these two teams, they're so similar in the way that they've gone through these series, right? Like UH dominating in other leagues. Same true for Fisher. They're both top 10, but UH Premier is number 2 in the CVAL power rankings.
This is certainly an upset, but I mean, there's a
They're
reason
doing
that
the
Fisher...
strat, Los. The pistol strat.
Oh, it's collegiate, baby. This is collegiate Valorant. Time to break open that door and see the tailwind off Floric. I'm here for it. No one there to greet them immediately as it's a much played back setup on B. Adam Solomon taking one down, but falling afterward, leaving Sully all alone inside a boathouse, cut down by Logan. Now it's a 4-on-3 for the post-plant situation, and it's a little spread out because you're going to have that long play from Relevant.
This is going to be very difficult to get back in here. The crossfire is set beautifully, but the Prowler coming out.
One enemy remaining.
Oh my god, Psychodori's
Oh,
cleaning things up. This is a
man.
massacre, Vincent. And this is how we're gonna go into map and series point. Off of a
Match
pistol,
point.
it's gonna be an anti-eco that could potentially spell everything. And you know it has to be a force from Premier. They are not gonna let this one go with a whimper, even though it feels like it.
I mean, it's, yeah. They're definitely not showing their best right now. They've invested everything that they could have on him. Headhunter, and however many bullets he could afford. I don't know if he could even get maxed.
Start off with the 0 point, and I think that's
It was a
that's
strike.
good. A good use. Lord jumping on to the Jenny. Koi's good for 2, and it's back and forth. Cut down into a 2v2 now, and both players are coming from heaven. Clark wants to get aggressive. This is critical. Oh, activation on that tailwind. Here's the swing. Nope, they back off. Realize the danger's too great, but now they know exactly where their assailants are going to come from. Both of them there. Cloudburst doesn't exactly hit its mark. They realize they see shoulder. Adam Solomon is looking for the peak. He's going to back up a little bit. They don't want to come from this angle. Not yet.
The HP, though. Chloric needs to be incredibly impactful here.
Perfect read. Destroying that dart. But Sully, they catch Logan during the reload. And a great timing. They stay alive. And it's good at that. They'll be able to take a Vandal and take victory in that force buy. So no one's going to be walking into the next one with full pockets.
Maximum comeback required. I don't think I've ever seen an 11-1 comeback in Valorant. I don't think I've ever seen a 12-1 comeback in Valorant. This would be a first for me. Not to say it hasn't been done or that it's been possible. I'm never one to say that comebacks are not possible, but I don't know that this could be done by any team that is not UH.
Here it is, Clark. They dash on through into the cloudburst, and it becomes a massacre. And I think Fisher realized that. They just want to get this round over with. Oh. Or X-Relevant. This is, I'm imagining they just want to get this one over with. They realize, hey, we've got 9 rounds to play with. We have 9 rounds to win 1. We can sacrifice this.
That's the difficult thing, right? It's not winning 9 rounds that is impossible, because that's doable. We've seen it a lot, right? 9-3s happen all the time, Los. It's winning 9 rounds without losing any. Doing it in such a dominant fashion. That's the tough part. It's the difficult thing. And even Fisher, despite how dominant they were in that last half, even they didn't do that.
No, and good read for Adam Solomon to be able to escape that. And Sully, lead round inside of B main. They won't give it up. In fact, they'll stick around, sending out the Owl Zone. Not really a case for wall banging by them, but it's Adam Solomon. A double tap onto the head. Oh, static. Tylenol won't fix. And he got another one from Koi. It's a 2-on-4. And this is... Well, this has been a scrappy one. Chloric gonna attempt to break through, and they might be able to catch Jivvy off while they throw the fragment, but certainly not the case.
Everybody get involved there for that final kill as the team ace rings out. Fisher College, well, they've been handled in the last couple of rounds, and they might be handled here once again. That's 2 gun rounds. Now go Houston's way. First, the force buy. There was an eco, and then another buy in the last round, which means we're on to another save this time out. Fisher College, though, I mean, they've been pretty deadly on their save rounds. I don't want to count them out, particularly not when a Blade Storm is on the cards. We've not seen much of this from Chloric, actually.
I don't think it's ever been necessary
No.
from Chloric, right?
No,
They've always just had guns. Here comes the dash, and it's perfect off of Paranoia. Now they've got a gun, but they still want to use the blades. Koi, though, providing some great spray down out from the door. Good use, handing over a weapon to your ally so they can bring more firepower, but the door, it's not going to be broken by a knife. And they're back to a classic.
Problem is, this has been stalled out well by Jivvy, and Jivvy continues to swing. Jivvy finally coming alive for UH Premier. Is it too late? Well, we'll have to find out. It's now
That's an eco
7.
round. Yeah. 7 more to go. An eco round taken down. Fisher College back on the rifles.
Adam does have an operator, so at the very least, they have that going for them. 4 in a row. I mean, they're starting to take steps in the right direction, that's for sure.
Teleport's ready.
But, again, Fisher, oh, it's so interesting. Trying to dodge out an initial haunt, maybe, or I don't know what the plan there was, or the recon bolt. Regardless, it doesn't actually come in for Chloric, so ultimately loses out in a little bit of utility. That's not the biggest of deals, though.
You can see, based off the placement from players on UH, none of them want to take a look down mid. Nobody wants to have that opening peek to attempt to get a pick. They'd much rather play together, play for a retake, or at least fight defending the site. If you lose out now, that's only going to be a sign for Fisher to run and rush you down.
The ultimate advantage in the hands of Houston right now, but that's just been equalized by Fisher. The null commands equalize themselves, and there's a Nightfall potentially for the retake, or maybe even for the stalling out of this push. 4 out of 5 players for Houston,
30 seconds left.
or rather for Fisher on this site, and here it goes.
There's the null command, followed up by a Nightfall. A great use of that Hunter's Fury, clears out hell, and Chloric is up in heaven. Koi's not expecting this, but I don't think that Chloric will actually push in further. They've got the spike down. They don't want to lose the advantage they already gained.
This could be the game. This could be the series. This could be the end.
No command. Koi opening up a kill against Psych. Logan all the way back in A main is a problem, but he's also got Dory, who secured a kill in the flank, leaving Adam Solomon now all alone. They just have an op and a shorty. There's no chance for them to win it out, and it's a 3K from Logan. That finishes things off, and Fisher College will win in 3.
And a dominant showing back on the scent as well. And oh my goodness, was Fisher a different beast when it came to that third map. I could not believe what I was seeing. UH Premier, I don't really know what happened other than it felt like they ran out of steam. That, and I mean, it's not like we've seen this team play Ascent before as well. They don't play it super often, but they do play it. And to see them get dominated in this fashion was definitely an impressive showing from Fisher, which is going to throw some question marks around in those CVAL rankings, by the way. And then, as well, Houston just kind of falling off. They lost their mojo.
Yeah, would you say that it's more of an impressive show, like a great showing from Fisher, or rather that Houston simply weren't playing to their maximum potential? Because I know they weren't. But
Yeah.
What do you think was more of a contributing factor to that?
I actually think it was pretty significantly both things. I think that game probably Fisher's regardless, but at the same time, if we saw Jivy playing like he was in the last 3 or 4 rounds, the same for Koi and Relevant, like all of those guys stepped up in those last couple of rounds in a way they weren't playing in the first half. If they had been playing that way all half, I think it would have been a closer win, but it would have been a win for Fisher. Instead, it was a dominant win, and I think that's where the difference between Fisher playing well and, UH Premier falling off kind of meets in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, even Adam Solomon, when it came to the second half and opening some picks to take away the site, like you would see multiple multi-kills from this player, especially when it came to clearing out Tree. And, we really didn't get a chance to see what they were capable of in the first 2 maps, and I was happy to see them come alive a bit more, but it was just too little, too late. This is a team that we know has the pressure. Number 2 on that CVAL rankings, but that's not what it looked like when we came to map 3. But, that's also like a big factor when it comes to Valorant and having these extended series. Can you have that physical stamina to last a long series, an extended one that goes to double OT, goes to a map 3? Are you going to be at your fullest throughout the entire of it? And, well, we learned that not really the case for UH, at least not now.
No, they really did struggle there on the back end, and you know what's really interesting as well. I think both of these teams prepping for a run in the Campus Clutch in Texas too. So, you know, part of that could be a lot of practice going into that. I think UH Premier is a part of that, if I'm not mistaken. I know for a fact that Fisher is headed that way. Their coach let me know about that when I was talking to him earlier. But one thing that definitely does factor in, maybe that's part of what we were seeing from UH Premier and why they struggled in that last map. But all of that aside, I think that Fisher College needs to be very proud of themselves. They stepped up in a massive way. They played incredibly well. And this is a team, as we were talking about, that has had a lot of time together to be prepped for these types of games, to be ready for the big moments and to perform in them.
Yeah, I mean, this is only going to be another notch under their belt, being able to take down such a highly regarded squad, and this is going to guarantee them into the grand finals. This isn't even the final matchup. It feels like with two squads of this caliber, this would be the end, but no, there's still more for this team, this Fisher Collegiate squad to deal with, and we're going to have a chance to talk to one of the players. I believe we're going to have Ming joining us. And it is Ming. Congratulations on your victory. How are you feeling after that 3-map victory?
We're feeling all right. Not necessarily how we wanted it to go, but a win's a win, and so we take those.
Well, how did you want it to go? I mean, what was the expectation?
2-0. Always 2-0.
Alrighty. Well, so playing against UH Premier, I mean, this is a good squad. We set it up. We talked about it on the desk when we were coming in. I know you guys know them. Have you guys gotten a chance to play them this semester outside of this?
No, this is the first time.
So when you're prepping for a team like UH Premier, what does that look like? Are you watching any demo? Are you prepping for them? Or are you just working on yourself?
We're really just working on ourselves, making sure that we're playing the best version of our game that we can. I can't say that I've seen too much of any other teams. We're really just focused on ourselves because we know, if we're playing good Valorant, if we're playing our game, then I don't think anybody can beat us.
Cool.
Definitely not. Well, that's what it stands to be. Such a fantastic final map. But now that you've cleared out the semifinals, there's a chance that you'll face either U Ottawa Garnet or University of Alberta Green. Do you have any thoughts on either of these teams that you'll meet in the finals?
I think that this was a harder match. I think that we've played U Ottawa Garnet, so I don't think I'm too worried about either team. I think in terms of like how strong teams were, I think this was the harder match with us coming in as like a 9 seed or something. So I think this was really the match that we were looking towards.
It was definitely one that we were looking forward to, and y'all put on a great show, so thank you so much for that activity. But before we send you on your way, is there anyone you want to give a special shout out to?
Thank my team. They played great. They kept their heads in it. Took us over the finish line. Thanks to the coach. He had some good pauses in there. I think that's about it.
That's about it. Well, you covered the basics, and that's what you need, at least in terms of giving thanks. Well, thank you so much, Ming, for joining us. Congratulations on your victory, and good luck in those finals.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, folks, that's going to wrap it up today for the NA Star League Valorant playoffs. We do have one more match to check out, and that being the grand finals, I believe, next week. And we also, I think we have the schedule, because we still have a few more matches, quite a bit more matches, really, to close out the rest of this week. Tomorrow, Vincent's back, the Vincentonian. Stand in your minds and hearts with Counter-Strike Global Offensive. And then on Saturday and Sunday, it's Overwatch, Call of Duty, and Rainbow Six.
Yeah, y'all just can't get rid of me. I am inevitable, apparently, at least when it comes to the NA's broadcast this week. With that being said, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I definitely agree, by the way. This was the hardest matchup that they had on offer. Going into it, both U Ottawa and University of Alberta, they're both good teams. I don't think either of them are as good as UH Premier, so it will be interesting to see if Fisher struggle at all in that grand finals. But with that being said, it's sad. but it's time to go. We'll see you next time here on the stream. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for joining in, and make sure to tune in over the weekend. See you next time.